McFarlane-esque lines to it.
It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. Oh my god. And also, like, can I just say, drawing Tiamat from that angle is hard. I've done it. I've tried to do it. It's terrible because she's got so many
She's
spikies.
got a lot going on.
This is beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, can you teach me how to
teach us your ways? Moving on. Thank you so much, Chirping Arts. We've got this gorgeous piece of Scylla and Charybdis.
Charybdis.
I always need to make sure I say it
Yeah,
correctly.
Scylla and Charybdis.
Yes.
At least that's what we were saying when we were doing
Charybdis. This is by DJ Santi Ball. And it's great to see these two girls together. They're sisters, right?
Yes, they're sisters.
Oh my god. And Anna, tell us like how you guys animated the little Charybdis monster coming out, right?
The Maw.
The Maw.
We referred to her as a she.
As a she.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, both Charybdis and her Maw are ladies.
Yeah.
She was crazy. Crazy fun to animate, crazy hard to animate for sure.
She was awesome. You guys did such an amazing job.
Oh, thank you.
I loved it. But it's really great to see the both of them together. I want more art with these two together, please.
Yeah. Like show the relationships. It's so good.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, DJ Santi Ball. Moving on to the next piece, we have
Yes.
egg related. Listen, I love anything egg related.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah.
This, if I remember correctly, this was an Artio skin.
It is, yeah, an Artio skin.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It's a Japanese, like cherry blossom, that type of style.
I like that kind of anime vibe. It's really pretty.
Oh, it's beautiful. With like the cherry blossom tree. Also, her design's really cute. I do love the staff. That's like little. What would you call it? Not is it quarter moon?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Some kind of moon.
That's a moon. Love it. Thank
beautiful.
you.
A beautiful moon.
It's so good. Thank you so much, egg related with 2 Ds, by the way. 2 Ds. Moving on to this next one. It's by I Am CM or I Am Shiny.
Hello.
Hi. Y'all really like this.
I like how we say this and we're the ones that pick the pieces to go
It's
with.
as if somebody's picking this for us and surprising us. We're doing this all ourselves.
We do it. We do it.
We pick all the abs.
Hi, Sticky Emily.
This is a gorgeous skin concept. And right around the corner we have Easter, so it's very fitting, right?
Yeah.
It's called Joyful Hair. I'm so happy. His little carrot sticks. Oh my God. I'm so happy.
He has like his bunny ears, and I like other things about it.
Yeah, I know, I do too. I can't really show you on group.
Really?
Yo, his back though. His back is ridiculous.
Also, the abilities are like legit cool. I like the little peeps. Little peeps in there.
I know, I love it. And big shout out to, I'm so sorry if we like miswrote this, but I Am Shiny.
It's
CM?
I Am Shiny.
I Am Shiny.
Yeah. Shiny.
They've been putting out a string of really cool concepts. So big shout out to them. They've been killing it.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you so much for that.
Yay.
I need some water. Okay. Moving on to the next piece. We have a veteran of the art show, MS Paint Doodles, just giving us that
Morgan Le Fay.
Morgan Le Fay, exactly.
Oh. Like, the amount of detail in this is just stunning.
It's so good. I love the chair. Their detail's always so clean because it's MS Paint.
It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I was introduced to MS Paint through this show. Not like the program, but...
The artiste.
The artiste.
The artiste.
And I just, all the detail.
Yeah.
All of the beautiful ships.
They are surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, they have been consistently a funny artist. They always like post really fun meme type drawings.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see them do something, dabble in something different, like more of a serious tone to it. I love it.
Super sultry.
So good. Thank you, MS Paint Doodles. I love you, baby. Moving on, we've got our number 9. This is by
Ubital.
Ubital.
Tell us how to say it properly.
Yes, please. I'm so sorry.
If we ever pronounce anything incorrectly, just like let us know how to say it
Just
properly.
yell at us. Show up to our house. This is a gorgeous Nox concept. And it's really giving me like the Baron and Cthulhu style.
Like the cartoon.
Yeah, that really cool old-timey 20s cartoon vibe. It's gorgeous.
I love this. I love the line work. I love how everything is really soft.
Yes.
It's just, it doesn't have any flaws.
No, not at all. It's one of those rare occurrences where a concept doesn't have too much detail, but it doesn't really need it. You know, typically with concept, you gotta like spruce it up, have some, you know, dynamic shapes in there. This is like, this is easy. This is good.
This is good.
This is good to go.
Yeah, good job.
Moving on. Thank you, Beto. I'm so sorry. It's like their mom's name, and we're just
we're
like,
butchering it. So sorry.
We're making fun of it. I'm sorry. Moving on, guys. We've made it to the end to our pick of show.
Yes.
Drum roll. No drum roll because it's already on the screen.
Here, but we can.
This is A Gorgeous Scotty by K Poro.
Yes.
Look at it.
Oh my
It's so
God.
beautiful.
When I first saw this on Twitter, even like the work in progress and stuff,
Yeah.
I was like,
Ooh.
baby.
It's so
Baby
good.
puppy.
I know. I think honestly that's why they won, because
I know.
we love a wolf.
We love our babies.
I
Good
have several
call
shirts
there.
with wolves on them.
Same.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Girl.
Oh my gosh, we should match
Oh
sometime.
my god. I love you so much. I love it. This is such a great job, K Paro. Gorgeous piece, very stylized, but also very smooth. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Love it.
I love it. We love
The
it, Scotty.
rendering, yeah, everything is really, really.
Yeah.
It's crazy too because we've seen a lot of your art too, and it's just really fun to see how much you've grown.
Yeah, for sure. They've grown so much, and we love to see all of our artists grow. You guys have been consistently getting better and better, only better and better.
Yes.
So, all right, guys, that's it. We reached the end. Thank
Did
you so
it.
much to all of our amazing artists
Oh my
featured this
God.
week.
Mm-hmm.
We love you guys very much. And before we go, we wanted to bring up a challenge that two of our community artists that have spearheaded a lot of concept challenges in the past. We want to give a shout out to Jade Rap Pit and Take This Jungle Buff, or Rap Bit. They were talking to us, and they've decided to come up with a really cool concept challenge, which is cherry blossoms.
Yeah, like the sakura kind of cherry blossom theme.
Yeah, so quick little challenge for y'all if you guys want to. For the next show, make sure you tag us on Twitter, Hi-Rez Art Show, and everything like that, and that's how we get all of y'all's art. But it's just going to be Cherry Blossom Festival. If you want to draw a cherry blossom Tiamat, if you want to draw a cherry blossom, a single cherry blossom covering up things, you know, fun stuff. We have a good time here. Yeah, so guys, make sure that you tag Hi-Rez Art Show and also Jade Rap Bit and Take This Jungle Buff.
I have a feeling there was one more person in the conversation. Yeah, let me double check.
Well, we don't want to like.
I'm sorry, I know we don't
keep
have
them
a lot
out
of
of it.
time.
But if
Kiwi,
you know,
it was Kiwi.
Kiwi, okay.
Yeah.
And Kiwi.
Sorry, Kiwi.
Yeah, sorry, my love. So make sure you tag all those wonderful people. If not, just don't worry, Hi-Rez Art Show, and we'll make sure to give them their proper shout outs and everything. But yeah, thank you so much. How is it being back? Anna, you excited?
I am so excited. Also, I just miss this room and being in person and you're real.
I know.
I forgot.
I forgot how it smells like. It smells like dude in this building, and I miss it.
Kind of does.
All right, y'all. Thank you again. We love you guys so much. You have no idea how much it means to us that you guys are still part of our community, and we love every single one of you. And stay tuned. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up. And yeah, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Well, it's time again to come and join your friends. Him and her are here for you. With passion unsurpassed, let's look back at SMITE's past and have ourselves a couple goofs. Just what was going on? All those years ago, we were having fun. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, SMITE.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I just hit the microphone. Good start. Hey.
Off to a great start, Andy. Let's go.
Hey, welcome to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 SMITE. This is a retrospective show where we take a look back 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, and 1 year in SMITE's history. My name is Andy Sexton. I am joined by my friends and co-hosts, Tina to my left. Hello, Tina.
Hey everybody, it's good to be back recording in the studio.
Let's go. I know. I'm super excited.
Yep.
And then in the corner, Isaiah.
Hello, everyone. It's been a while since I've been on a stream or a show. It feels good to be back.
I know, right?
It's been a while since we've been in the same room.
I know,
I
right?
Hi, Andy.
Hi, no
Right?
green screen. We did it. But yeah, so basically the whole setup of the show, we did one of these like 3 years ago randomly, and then we just never did it again.
Right.
But hey,
Yep.
we're back. So yeah, we're going to start it off by taking a look back at 2017, this month in SMITE history. Since it is April Fools, all that stuff,
Yep.
we figured we would be showing off a lot of the April Fools content that we have done for Hi-Rez and SMITE in the past. But to kick it off in April in 2017, this was actually the month that Apollo's Racer Rumble came out.
I know, right? You said we were talking about April Fools, and this might seem like an April Fools to
But it's
you all
not.
who weren't there, but no, this was
Yeah.
100% real.
I assure you.
The long-requested adventures that the community has been asking for to come back forever.
Yeah.
I have my thoughts. I think the community is looking back at it with, some rose-tinted glasses a little
course.
bit, but it does have its charm. But
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily sure how well it would hold up today. Tina, what do you think about Racer Rumble?
That shit's probably broken. I don't know. If you boot that up, I don't know if it's gonna work. So, I mean, I
You're
loved it.
100%.
It was a lot of fun, but it was fun if I wore those rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's so nostalgic, like looking back at it now. And I totally forgot that we made our own little, boost. What do we call them?
The little boost pads.
The boost pads
Yeah.
and like the stuff,
Like the little pickups for the
pickups.
items?
Thank you. I couldn't even think of the.
These
fucking
are all
word.
legally permissible
Right.
ways to describe a car racer too.
the pickups that you can like throw Thor's hammer and shit.
Yeah.
That was
You could do like your mirror wall,
crazy.
Yeah.
Kuzenbo shells.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. That was so good,
Yeah.
dude.
But April was also in 2017. That was also the month that Ganesh was released. for
Ganesh.
Smite.
Ganesh, my
Oh, damn.
favorite guardian.
Right? It's crazy to think that Ganesh came out 5 years ago.
I know,
remember
right?
how
Yeah.
huge of a deal for him to come out and join SMITE was back in the day.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy that we're kind of everything circles back, right? And Ganesh was the first Hindu god for a long time back in 2017. And now we introduce Shiva, who is the first new god since Ganesh. It's kind of crazy how things come all the way back around.
Yeah, I remember we
Yep.
were doing the Hi-Rez Presents segment, and they were like, "Oh, it's been 5 years since Ganesh came."
I was like, what?
"Whoa!" Like, I feel like I'm turning to dust hearing that,
Well,
but also like,
We
5
have
years,
to
that's crazy.
remember that these past 2 years are
Right, those are
non-existent.
mulligans.
Yeah,
those
they're
are
just
games
like.
gone.
Yeah.
Right.
So actually, it came out 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
that's-
Oh my god.
But yeah, I guess like on that note, let's go and throw it to our first full video. Can't even talk. This is the April Fool's video from 2017. This is the SMITE meme system video. I'll be honest, I don't remember a lot of what the jokes were in this. So yeah, hopefully it holds up pretty well. Let's take a look.
Memes. They have the popularity of brands, but a cost of on the house. Looking through Hi-Rez's history, memes have been an important part of our core business. Free content that's endlessly entertaining not only applies to memes, but to our free-to-play model for games.
The rate at which memes are created far outpaces the SMITE content schedule. This is why we're extremely excited to introduce our brand new feature. Introducing the Memory Enhanced Meme Execution, or MEME.
Our meme system takes input from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, marthastewart.com, the dark web, and the last remaining sites of GeoCities. Our system compiles the newest, spiciest memes into content that can be directly purchased by players in SMITE. So now you can not only has cheeseburgers, but also has skins.
As a youth, I enjoy this content
Not only skins, but icons and announcer packs practically takes the need for artists out altogether.
The meme system is the spiciest system yet in SMITE, and we can't wait to see its dank content.
So not only can you catch me outside, you can catch memes in SMITE. How about that?
That day was 50 years ago. Now, in 2067 AD, humans are an endangered species. My name is Sarah Connor. It's our time to fight back against the memes.
What is that?
I forgot.
What the hell was that?
The meme system taking over, and it became like a Terminator kind of
Yeah, I was like,
situation.
what
Oh my
is that?
This is so great.
I remember we were making that video. The stipulation was, well, we have to have anybody that's over 45, like, to put on this hat sideways,
Right?
like,
Yeah.
to show just how out of touch we are being with these memes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now we're in 2018. So this was 4 years ago. This was when we revealed the Inner Demon Adventure.
Yeah, this is another great adventure
Yeah.
that I'm a big fan of. I love our
I remember
arena.
the
those are
titty
sick.
skins. Yes! I love those skins. They're amazing. Holy shit.
Yeah, I love the adventures where we kind of
Isaiah
take the arena
expertly
map. I
skirted
know,
it.
right? I was like, yeah, let's
let
just
it
move
breathe.
on.
What? She's magnificent.
Yeah, we put her everywhere too.
Yes.
What did the kids say? Thick with 2 C's?
Yeah, thick.
Is slang. But yeah, I love the arena augmentations.
Yeah.
And this one specifically is we had the water pools
Yes.
everywhere,
Right,
and then
yeah.
like every so often, like
Snack.
I think this was, I can't remember if this was before or after Corrupted Arena. I want to say before, but this is kind of all the gods with like pushes and like
Right.
throws and stuff
Oh,
were
yeah.
super good because you want to just throw people in the water and then
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like wait for them to get eaten by snakes because like who doesn't like to watch their enemies get eaten by snakes? It was great.
It's true. By the way, like, it's not in the shot right now, but the skybox that they were showing
Oh!
for like, this arena is
Yes,
absolutely
that one's
insane.
sick.
Like, that is crazy.
It is crazy. Look at that.
Yeah,
The evil side and
Yeah.
the angel side.
yeah. No, that was
It was amazing.
yeah, maybe not Apollo's Racer Rumble.
Right? Yeah.
You know, still a great adventure. This was also when we revealed the Smite Raver bundle.
I remember
Oh,
the dance moves.
I remember.
I completely, absolutely didn't remember filming this.
Whoa, look at Stealth's hair.
Right?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, Pawn eating the Lunchables. This was so-
With a
Smacked
fork?
it off the
Just, like,
table.
shove across the side.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god. Pawn eating Lunchables like fine dining was the most hilarious thing I've ever seen.
Oh man. Yeah, this was also April 2018. So we had our April Fool's video for this year. And this year's was Fenrir the Next God. So this was
Still not released, by the way.
still not released, by
Yeah.
the way. This has been a long time community request for, God, I think before I was born. Smite's been going on for that long,
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, so this is the God reveal for Fenrir the Next God. Let's go and take a look at it.
Welcome to the Smite God reveal for Fenrir, the next god. Eons ago, in the ancient year of 2012, the battleground of the gods was home to 17 immortal deities. They were simple times. They were happy times. And yet, their worshippers demanded more. A group of prophets, known throughout the land as data miners, foretold of the next god, Fenrir. And yet, his tale was never to be told. 6 long years have passed. Bursting from the chains of obscurity, the time of the foretold prophecy is upon us. The time of the next god. Fenrir's passive is Fetch. Gods with ranged basic attacks have their strikes negated by Fenrir as he catches the projectile and brings it back to them. Aw, look at him. Fenrir's first ability is Play Dead. Fenrir drops dead, tricking his enemies into thinking that he's dead. While playing dead, Fenrir is invulnerable. Fenrir's second ability is Mark Territory. Fenrir marks his territory, causing allies and enemies to avoid the area. Oh, that is gross. Lifting the leg is marking I can't even. This is. Fenrir's third ability is Shock Collar. Fenrir lets out a powerful howl, activating his shock collar. Fenrir, as well as all nearby enemies, are shocked. You know, if you're a real owner, you would know how to train your animal without having to do any kind of cruelty to it. But I mean, if you guys are going to be like, that's fine. Fenrir's ultimate is, who's a good boy? Fenrir takes out his favorite toy, the Manicore plush, and he cuddles up with it, bringing allies and enemies to come and pet him. And both teams achieve victory, as Fenrir is the ultimate therapy pupper. No more fighting. I mean, just look, how could you? Just look at him. He's so fluffy. Oh my God, I am dead. I can't. Oh, look at him. He's so cute. You're such a good. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? You are. You're a good boy. Thank you for watching the SMITE God reveal for Fenrir, the next god. Tune in next patch for the Ratatoskr rework. He can now equip boots.
Yeah, well, shout out to the cinematics team that did that video. I completely forgot how much work they put in this.
Right? Yeah, I know. That was crazy. Hilarious stuff.
Yeah, I forgot Fenrir taking a piss.
Even that effects, yellow effects, that was so good.
Rated T for teen.
Right?
Yep. But yeah, so we're getting ahead into 2019 now. So this was a pretty big month. This is when Horus and Set were officially revealed.
Yeah, our first and only dual god release, right?
Yeah, this is our only, for the love of God.
Right.
Nah, that was major. I remember losing my mind over just how their kids compliment each other.
Mhm.
It was just so interesting of how much kind of foresight they put into playing these two.
Right, yeah, and on the community side, this is probably one of one of my most favorite things that we've done on the community side. Just with the teasers and how we kind of retold the story, you know, from ancient Egyptian mythology about Horus and Set, and you know, Osiris being killed, and kind of leading that into this god release, and then the cinematic just on the screen right here is just so dope.
Yeah, I know that this was when we were still kind of, you know, a bit more parallel to in-game models for cinematics, and we had never really done something at this level.
Right.
I mean, we have so many gods with rivalries in the game, but we've never really kind of shown it fully in a video like this before. This was the first one I can remember being oh wow, this feels like they made good on the lore. This is awesome.
Turned out so good.
Yeah, but no, I mean, Horus and Set, that was huge for this month. This was also when New Assault was revealed.
I know, right? I'm thinking about it. We were talking earlier. I can't believe that New Assault was 3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Nuts.
You mean 1 year ago? Damn.
Oh yeah, 1 year ago.
Right,
I forgot. We're 2 years or
mulligans. I got the whole show is not just irrelevant because we got 2 mulligan years.
2 whole years.
Right? It's now 5-2-1 SMITE.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But awesome, yeah. So the April Fool's video for this month. So this was coming back after we had kind of started using the devs for the god reveals a little bit. So Lore Lady was focused more on just a single section instead of actually doing the lore like she used to. So the thought of this one was oh, we're not just bringing Lore Lady back to the god reveals. She's going to be in everything. Yeah. So this was the Lore Lady More Than Lore April Fool's video. So let's go ahead and take a look.
We came here for the lore. But then we got to know more than the lore. We got to know gods. We got to know mortals. We got to know was, new, and old. And through all of this, we got to know the lady. But then something happened. We lost the lore lady and tried something new. But then we heard you. And we hear you. We're bringing the lore lady back. And not just for lore, but for every piece of audio in SMITE, including this apology. Every auto, whoosh, bam, every laugh, every cast, pentakill, every VER, you rock, every track. Every patch show, nerfs and buffs, every high, Because when we have lore, we can do more.
Protect Lore Lady at all costs.
Exactly. Yeah. We just recorded a brand new God reveal with her.
Ooh,
Actually.
I wonder who it's gonna be for. Maybe.
Interesting. I will not be fired over this. So we will stop there. But no, so this 2 years ago in 2020, this is when Baba Yaga first was revealed for Smite.
The Witch of the Woods.
Oh, and this is like the height of the pandemic. Like we finding out like shit, we gotta stay home.
Right? Yeah.
That's when it was popping off. Yeah.
It's crazy that Baba Yaga was revealed, and she in her house
Right.
is so intertwined in her lore, like she never leaves home, and then parallel worlds,
Exactly.
we have to end up, working from home and try to figure things out. But
Yeah.
Baba Yaga, another highly requested community god. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah. This was also when, talking about the pandemic. I remember when we did this update show. This is when we were, doing all the shows in studio. We had started doing like these pre-update shows actually, and then we kind of had the rug pulled out from under us of just like, oh hey, no, we gotta. Don't be dumb.
Right.
Please stay home. Be safe.
Yeah.
So I remember we last minute, shout out to James on the production team. We did an entirely animated update show. Right. Like it happened to be on April Fool's Day, so we were like, oh, that'd be pretty funny, and then we just didn't understand how much work that actually is to do it.
I know. But, we had it was me, AJ Pond. We all had our little drawn characters, right?
Wow.
Fully animated.
Yeah.
And we revealed Baba Yaga at the end of that. It was dope.
Even though the update show was on April Fool's, we also had an April Fool's video to reveal that day too. So this was kind of a weird community, in joke a little bit, that became a Smite dating simulator called Dream Deity. Which
I remember,
I mean, hey, everybody was at home. Everybody's a little thirsty. They
needs a little love, right?
Yeah, exactly. What else is there to do?
Exactly.
But
You could play Smite, sure. Or you could
not
watch
really what I was
this.
gonna say, but yeah.
Sure. Well, hey, now we're marrying the best of both worlds. What Latino's thinking. It's Smite. So
just play Smite instead. You're right. That's a good,
I hear the police coming.
Right?
Outside, so let's go ahead and throw it. This is the Dream Deity Smite video for April Fool's 2020.
Time for some fun! Am I starting to look handsome?
Looking good. That's rather fetching, don't you think?
Look at the little girly man. Where are you going? Stick around. Your time has come. Just you and me.
There's my light, dressed every day. His well-known eyes makes me, oh my God. How come I've never felt like this until his kiss, singing, oh my God.
Sweet. So that was the Dream Deity. I'm saying deity.
Deities.
over and over. Tina, who's your top pick? Who's the
it would
deity?
be Chalk. I've
Chalk.
always had a boner for Chalk, so it would be
Cool.
Chalk. Yeah.
Isaiah, are you a Chalkman?
No, I think I'm digging Susanna. He's
He's
got the
going for
baby
He's got
kappa.
the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got having the baby is he has some stability. In it.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's like
Right?
I can rely on him. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
You never told us yours.
I just said Susanna.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, so
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You like babies. That's good.
Where do I go?
You're right.
Thank you
Where do
for
we
that.
go from here?
Thank you for that verbal hand grenade that you tossed into my lap. Yeah, so this was 1 year ago, which weirdly feels like 8 years ago.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So, but 1 year ago, in April 2020, this is when we revealed Monster Cat to the world.
My favorite crab ray
Right?
get
The
breed.
skins
The
were
dream
so
became
dope.
reality.
And this, the tech work that went into making the skins, how
It's-
we
yeah.
incorporated the song stems
Yeah.
into the actual character
Yeah.
abilities, and just having Crab Ray and Smite,
Yeah.
it's just
Amazing.
peanut butter and jelly, match made in heaven.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, just like the artists that we work with too. I know we had some people on the update shows.
Yeah.
And, they're happy to hang out. Everybody's just so cool.
I know.
Like,
Shout outs to Slushy, Coven,
Yeah.
Noise Storm, Sullivan King.
Yeah.
Super
Dang,
dope.
Good recall.
I know, right?
Damn,
I know,
right on the
right?
top of the dome. But yeah, this was also when we revealed Gilgamesh to the world for the very first time. Or wait, first time, second time, second time.
Second time.
We showed him in Tiamat's trailer, but this is when we got in the nitty gritty. We showed off his kit and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was also, like, I know we talked about what Orson said, but this was also just like a really cool realization of showing like this rivalry, like within the cinematic. This was also one of the first times we had a cinematic essentially be like a sequel to the previous one.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we kind of had Tiamat's reveal at HRX the year before, January, and then we had Gilgamesh's cinematic come out that kind of made good on the plot that was going on. So,
I know, right? Babylonian Pantheon came in, last year?
Yeah.
They're still kind of running it. Like, Tiamat and Gilgamesh, really, really good right now in the meta, so.
It's true. But yeah, so these were like the big updates we had in April, but then we had one last April Fool's video that we're going to reveal here. And this is actually going to be the end of the show, so we can go ahead and start doing our sign-offs here. Our last video that we had was SMITE Go. This was kind of like a mobile realization of what a, gosh, what could you call this without saying the real name of the game?
Like we find like
game.
A location-based
a
God
collection game.
There we go. Yeah.
Tyler in production, saving the date, right?
Yes.
But, yeah, so
God
this was
collection game.
Yeah, this was kind of our interpretation of a location-based God collection game. But before we throw to that, I just want to say thanks y'all for tuning in for the show. Hey, we're playing it kind of loosey-goosey, so we'll keep getting better as we go along. Hit us up with your feedback online. But yeah, Tina, Isaiah, you guys, anything you want to say before we sign off?
Thank you for always being here and supporting us and watching us goof about.
+1. Thanks so much for chilling. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Like Andy said, feel free to shoot us your feedback. Let us know what you think.
But awesome. Cool. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. Until next time, here's some April Fool's buffoonery. Let's check it out.
Hi!
Blessings upon you.
Oh, hey, fam. This is gonna be fun.
The party's this way.
I'll cut you down.
Going up.
You're welcome.
No, brother!
Betray your brothers.
Free your souls!
Ignite!
Artisanal food makers, bread bakers, pastry makers, cheese makers, and others are specialists and have proper equipment and access to the freshest ingredients. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I didn't see you guys there. Well, welcome back to, what are we doing? We're doing This Month in Smite. Okay, well, it's been a little while. Since the last time I've seen you all, we raised a bunch of money for charity. I got the Rona. That sucked big. I really didn't like that one. And we also got a new season in Smite, Season 9. So if all that life happening kind of made you forget what's happening here, what this show is about, I'm gonna bring you all the best clips from titular month in Hi-Rez's biggest game. This episode, I figured, why not get engaged a little bit more early on? So let's play a game, good or bad. If you guys are new and don't know how to play, I'm gonna pause a clip halfway through or maybe a little bit towards the earlier sections. You'll see, it's gonna like go black and white. I'll appear out of nowhere in like a puff of smoke. And when that happens, you get to decide whether or not the clip goes well or poorly for the streamer. Let's go.
All right, you jumped in, you're stuck, man. I mean, your hands are off the levers of power. There's no decision making left. You're diving. The only thing you gotta do now, land your abilities. Best of luck.
Clean. Clean!
Fumble.
All right, you see like all these guys, 1, 2, 3. Jordan, circle them. You see these guys? The only thing they have in common is that they're not looking at Hazer. My man's free casting. Oh. Oh my God. Gross.
Come on, I deserve this. I deserve this! No, I deserve this! I deserve this!
Not good.
Oh my god, this is literally the worst case.
Your portal's down, the jungler's on your heels. All right, what are we playing against? It's a Scylla, it's a Bakasura. Bakasura moves faster from the passive. Scylla does like a ton of damage. Again, you don't have your escape. I don't see a way out here.
Snarrow.
Let's go.
No way! What am I looking at? What just happened? What? What? What?
Fantastic.
Steven, just hit a fucking auto, bro. Seriously, hit an auto, you donut.
The 3 time seems to be struggling a little bit. Maybe all those rings are weighing his, I don't know, mouse hand down.
This guy's dead, trust me, chat. Oh my. No. Oh my god, are you dumb?
Too bad. Too bad.
Clean! Content creators, undiscovered pro talent, casual connoisseurs, this is your segment called Community, where we like to celebrate hype plays, goofy mistakes, and all things Smite with those of you that make it all possible, the fans at home. Rexy decided that he just is going to ignore a core game mechanic, stealth. It simply doesn't work against him.
I'm gonna go Ultra Instinct.
Let's switch it up.
Oh!
Now that was a big brain play.
Look, I realize Incon is like the streamer, he's gonna be in the bottom right of this next clip, but don't be confused, he is simply there to bear witness, just like the rest of us.
Now Toad will be here.
That entire game so far.
That'll do.
Where'd he go?
He jumped this way. Yep, to our right. He's to our right. Oh, what? No! No way! I call hacks.
That was the best axe.
I actually call hacks
Those
on
minions
that
parted
axe.
the sea.
There's literally no way.
But since we use some of Incon's content anyway, we might as well celebrate Incon with one of his own sick plays.
And it's still. Nice. We gotta be a little bit careful, but I think we're alright still. Nice. Oh, I'm trying not to body block you. Yep. Okay. I'd like to make a shout out to the freaking harpy.
Shout out! Shout out!
You're good. You're good. Dude, I kicked him into the harpy who finished him.
Oh man, I'm gonna be missing plays like this next clip. We're just not gonna see it in season 9.
Let's just gonna get fired.
Oh,
here we go. Here we go.
But what we can expect to see in season 9 is some wild tomfoolery like this. Keep your eyes on Weaken's HP.
Pick me up. Oh, wait, I'm full health. Holy shit. Why you made a full? What the what the fuck? My one just fully on me.
New season, new segment. This one's called Weirdos, and well, I mean, it's pretty clear what it's about. It's about Smite players being generally weird, be it esports guys, casual guys, even, I don't know, behind the scenes guys from the Smite broadcast. Keep your eyes peeled.
Outside of Smite, I am the biggest weeaboo, nerdy party kid. If I'm not on my computer playing a video game, I'm either out partying or I'm watching anime.
Dolson went to PF Chang's and Agro's explaining it. It was on Hazer's stream. Just watch. I can't explain this one. It's weird.
The Dolson at a urinal in a PF Chang's bathroom one time. As he's zipping up, a bunch of hot mustard and soy sauce packets fall out of his jacket. He gathered them up and then looks me in the eye and says, "No need for Mr. Chang to find out about this," and slips one of the mustard packets into my back pocket, winks at me, and then pats me on the butt and leaves the restroom. Weird as hell, but yeah, he's a cool guy.
So you guys remember how Hindu has kind of just been like the savage, but I don't think the savage really does him justice. He's more so the destroyer. There's Baskin's keyboard, and now my broom.
You gotta follow the three-peats, competing
I was
against
like, how
each
are we in
other,
there?
former teammates. Oh, what's this?
Oh,
what,
no.
what do we got?
No!
No! What happens tomorrow? That's my brew! I brought that from home!
We decided to have Tom F. Battinger back for literally one day, and, well, he decided to roast us immediately.
Do you know what Corrupted Arena the mode is?
I mean, I figured it's just arena on Hi-Rez servers.
Sick.
PBM said the thing. He said the thing again. Like he already said it once, but he said it again.
I would do it again too.
One more time, Mike, before we go.
You're telling me an alien wore this?
He
said it again.
He said it again.
Three
folks.
times.
There it is. 3 times a lady. Shout out to Polar Bear Mike.
So in the SPL, there's just this weird obsession around these players' pets. Dogs, cats, it doesn't really matter. We just like seeing them. But Barracuda's cat seems to have developed an ego.
Don't say step cat. That just makes.
Whoa! Whoa! No! Get off! What are you doing? Get off my microphone! What? Jeez! These cats!
I don't think Paul is recovering very well from that loss up against the Leviathans.
You ever play every Zhang move? Yeah. Sure. And then of course his 3. And then his ult. And then that's Zhang Kui for you.
Disrespect, multi-kills, generalized violent debauchery. Those are just a couple of the things that can land your clip in this segment, aptly named Bloodbath. Zatman picks himself up a stinky little 4-piece combo.
They released notes, I think last night or today, and they're actually releasing tier 3 content with the launch.
The 3-time may have found 4, but Douglas of the Donut gets himself 5, and he does it in style.
Yo, that was sick as fuck. Wait.
This is single-handedly the sweatiest arena play I think I've ever seen.
All attack. Attack.
First blood. Double kill. Triple kill.
Oh my god!
This is simply
Hunter players, I don't know what's going on with you guys. Something's in your water this month, or maybe you've just been drinking a lot of milk. Either way, you're just kind of dominating Bloodbath.
Just walk, man. Why are you standing there?
Thank you very much for watching this month in Smite. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you want to be featured in the next one, you can get at me in the replies, the comments. Reach out to me on Twitter. I've got a business email. I don't know. I think there's probably a form too as well. And if you got some hype clips, you'll get there, all right? I promise. That's a promise from me to you. Specifically you. I'm talking to you, Kyle, behind the computer screen with the headset on right now. That's it. There's nothing left. Go on, click another video. Smite Game's got like a bunch of cool stuff. I forgot to do it earlier, but bye, by the way. Like, see ya.
Welcome to the SMITE Update Show. This is 9-4. This is the Jade Emperor. We are so excited to be here. It's going to be a crazy show. We have balance we're going to go over. We have skins to show off. We have Huang, brand new god. But we're just going to dive right into balance. This is a huge show. We have a ton of stuff to talk about because this is the nerf patch. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I'm not joking. This is crazy. There's so many things that are changing. I mean, AJ, you want to start us off?
I do. Thank you. Good to be back in the studio, by the way. Haven't been here in quite a long time. Haven't done a live show in person in quite a long time. Hello, everyone out there in Smite Land. It's good to see you again. It's going to be so much better than sitting at home all the time and kind of accidentally talking over each other because of latency. Hold on, screen freeze.
You're so right.
Okay, we're back. So today is a special update. It's not just because of a new god or because of all these fun things that Dandy listed, but this is a very uniquely done update, a complete philosophical change.
It's a big one.
And a massive number of individual changes. So what we are doing today in 9-4, the Jade Emperor update, is a nerf patch, as we're calling it. So we have over 20, or like my final count, excuse me if this is not exactly correct, but 29 total individual gods being nerfed. Every single one. 29, 37 different items individually nerfed. That is including their glyphs, though. So like Ratatouille, both glyphs, that's 3 items. Also 8 relics, so that's 2 relics, all 4 upgrades, and 2 reworks in this update. We've been seeing a lot of community feedback about the overall damage in the game and the pacing in the game. We want to take that seriously. We want to take steps to address it. Today is the big first step towards that. We started with looking at what are the most powerful, most highly prioritized gods in every class and every role, as well as every item. And we went through that one at a time, taking all of the top picks, all of the top items across every role, every class, and nerfing generally their base damage of one or 2 of their abilities, or the item power. There are some exceptions, of course. You can go and read this on the patch notes. There's a nice, lengthy explanation of dev notes from me, as well as our scientific method, our process for how we worked through this patch. We know that people wanted changes across many things in the game, but Smite is a collection of individual things, so we had to go through them individually. So if we're going to go through a whole lot of things individually, we might as well have a methodology to it, start with the most powerful ones, go through every class and every role, make sure we hit the most popular ones, most powerful ones in every role, and apply those nerfs. Let me see if I have anything else in my notes here. I apologize, because there's a lot to keep track of in this patch. I cannot memorize all of it.
It's incredible how much there is.
So generally our methodology was to evaluate the highest pick ban. So we're looking for the most participation from a god or an item. Then we kind of contrasted that with its win rate and its damage output or power value to kind of determine the magnitude of the nerf. We did nerf item power and god damage whenever possible, but there were some exceptions. Sometimes we nerf some self buffs that might contribute to power, or some passives that do bonus damage, etc. There also are some defensive nerfs because we wanted to kind of we wanted to create this shift lower in damage, but we also wanted to bring everything down. So there are a few tank items also getting nerfed. There are also potentially many characters that you might think, oh, this character should have been buffed. Like, I really think this character could have used a buff. No, not in this update.
It's like no buffs, right?
Nerf update. None. So there was some gods we would have had some great buffs for, we think. We have some good ideas for them. But the way they're kind of getting buffed is indirectly because all of their competition is theoretically getting nerfed. If they are, competing with the gods that are getting nerfed today. So I think with that, let's get into it. We got a long list of things to go through, so let's move.
Yeah, that was easy to digest. I'm sure you got all that. If you didn't, the update notes are live now, again, with all this information. So we're going to really rattle through this. There's so much that we have to go through that we're going to block everything off, and we're going to give it to you, give you the highlights of everything. So we're going to start off with some relic changes. So Belt of Frenzy, Greater Belt of Frenzy, Belt of Insatiable Hunger, Belt of the Berserker, Bracer of Radiance, and Greater Bracer of Radiance, along with Bracer of Brilliance, Bracer of Illumination, all getting nerfs. All nerfs all the time. What are the highlights from those?
So these relics are specifically the ones that provide team damage or power buffs.
Yeah.
So when we're having concerns with the total damage output in the game, particularly late game, but we've even seen recent strategies where people are buying the level 1 Frenzy.
Yeah, popping that clear wave.
So all of these items are being nerfed because of specifically their strong damage output buffs. Yeah. This is a little bit different from the rest of the methodology, but these relics we felt were significant contributors to the burst damage effect currently in Smite. So these are just getting nerfed across the board. All of them will be, of course, like all of these items and all of these gods today, will be reviewing the results, the data, the feedback, see how things go after the changes, and see if we need to adjust accordingly.
Right, because we want to make sure that relics are diverse and everyone can kind of choose between the different ones. If this leads to kind of a stale meta for relics, then that's okay. That's a different issue we can address later. This is all about power.
Right.
Yeah, so that's going to be the first block. Next up, we're kind of getting into the general mage area. So we have Rod of Tahuti, Calamitous Rod of Tahuti, Nimble Rod of Tahuti, Divine Ruin, and Spear of Deso.
And Chronos
all getting nerfed. And Chronos Pendant, you're right. All getting nerfed down. Clumsy, what's with the mage stuff?
Yeah, I think those ones are kind of self-evident. With the Rod of Tahuti, we had the new glyphs coming into them. Obviously, Rod of Tahuti was a pretty high-statted power item. But then again, as you guys have talked about and as we've seen, some of these pen items, specifically Spear of Desolation and Divine Ruin, have not only had their flat pen, depending on how much we're at the moment, but they've also increased in power over time. So here we are decreasing all of that. Chronos Pendant, as well as maybe you don't see it as often in the high-level ranked, but it is extremely popular, and already over time it's gained power. So we're bringing all of that down. The top end for mage items all being reduced in their power.
Chronos Pendant is the most purchased magical item in the game.
Yep. It's good.
#1.
Yeah. So that's not all for mages. For those mages that like to move quickly and attack quickly, we also have Telkine's Ring and Ring of Hecate also getting nerfed, just like everything else. So AJ, what's with the rings?
Yeah, smaller section here. Mage ADCs are not necessarily a big concern right now, but they do have very high damage output. They were very meta only a short time ago. We wanted to go ahead and take some top end of stats off of their items as well. Again, this patch, we're hitting everyone, everything.
Everything.
There's probably some things that people might say are going to get nerfed too hard or not hard enough. That's okay. That's reasonable. We're looking forward to that feedback, and we're gonna learn and act on that in the future. But for today, we're going all over the game. So Mage ADC is also getting some nerfs, and again, Hunters will be getting them as well. So just because they're both getting nerfed, we'll see. Maybe Mage ADCs end up coming back because their competition gets nerfed too.
Yeah. Again, nerf central. We are everything that we read here. It's going to be a nerf. We're bringing it all down.
And we only hit those 2 rings, of course. But if we look, we did talk about other mage itemization, and there's a very high chance that mage ADCs are going to be purchasing into one of the flat pen options or Nimble Rod of Tahuti, for example. So they're getting hit in multiple places.
Yeah. And again, this is an iterative process. We're doing this. We're going to see how it turns out, and we're going to keep going. We're going to make this. We're going to take y'all's feedback and do everything we can with it. So next up, we have kind of a warrior block. We have Caduceus Shield, Breastplate of Valor, Breastplate of Determination, as well as Breastplate of Vigilance, Ancile, Mystical Mail, Bulwark of Hope, and Hide of the Nemean Lion. So a bunch of warrior items getting touched as well. And if you want to get into that, Clumsy.
Yeah, so we kind of have 2 or 3 things going on here. We have a couple of these warrior items that are a little bit of the hybrid ones that provide different stats and a little bit of power. Maybe more power than you'd expect. So again, going alongside with the patch, we're bringing that power a little bit lower. Now then there's the breastplates. Breastplates are going to be losing some of the physical protections because they don't really have much power going on there, but they gained a lot of value with the glyphs. Breastplate is one of the most popular glyphs, obviously the 2 ones, Determination and Vigilance. So we think bringing down how strong they are based on their physical protections is going to make them slightly less valuable, right? We might see a little bit less of them, but we're still happy with Breastplate as a whole.
Right.
Mystical Mail is going to be getting a change through its passive, which is effectively still damage across the board for the player picking it up. Yep, it absolutely adds up. And you've seen us nerf Mystical Mail and adjust it before. We're going to be keeping an eye on that one to make sure it's still okay. Bulwark of Hope and other items like that, similar to Breastplate, as we talked about earlier, power needs to come down, but we need to make sure that the top end of protections is also coming down a little bit. It's really bringing the the top end for everyone down, because if we just did power everywhere and we didn't touch protections, we're going to probably lead ourselves into a tank.
We are nerfing power more than protections.
Yes, we are, absolutely. But we're very well aware that we need to make sure that we don't just run around with these protection items just being the meta, right? Everyone's just picking up protection items no matter
And this
what.
hide change is real spicy.
And the hide change is the last one, which is something that you might not have seen coming, but from the higher level play, we have a lot of these people saying that block stacks are extremely potent, and yes, they are. The new hide change, you may not have gotten a chance to play around with it that much, but getting 3 full block stacks, I guess we have to call them partial versus full or some sort of terminology. Soft block stacks. We now have a new way of changing how much you're getting the efficacy of a block stack, right? Previously, you'd be reducing a full amount of a basic attack. Now you're getting a partial reduction.
Yeah, so entirely new tech that we could apply elsewhere too.
Yeah.
There you go. So if you guys like
Love
it, if this is useful, maybe we need to buff hide in case this was too heavy a nerf, because previously it was binary. You got a full block stack, you had nothing. Now you're somewhere in the middle, and we can apply this more often.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible how changing things like this can give us new tech, and we're like, wow, there's a whole other opportunity for us to change other items in the future.
Yeah.
So really exciting stuff. Next up, we're getting into those scary jungle assassins, keeping them from being, as one-hit potential as sometimes they can feel. And we're doing that by touching the Crusher, Hydra's Lament, Jotun's Wrath, Jotun's Ferocity, Jotun's Vigor, and Serrated Edge.
So Crusher's kind of a flex item. Obviously, we're seeing it a lot on Hunters as well right now, but we had to put it somewhere in the list of things. That attack speed nerf is going to be actually targeting Hunters a good bit as well, but it's going to affect junglers for sure. Hydra's Lament has recently got a big change earlier this season, so it's a lot more popular now, bringing that total bonus damage down. Jotun's Wrath, similar thoughts as other glyphs. It got new glyphs, and so therefore it got some new power, bringing it down. And a Serrated Edge is just like kind of the like catch-all jungler item right now. Power, pen, a lot of things going for it. Movement speed, so we're bringing in just the base power down across the base and the passive. So when that all stacks up, you get, that's like 8 total power? No, more than that. 2, 4, 6, 11 total power even off that item. So pretty significant nerf there. A little less total jungler items. Yeah. We did see in a lot of our data and feedback that junglers from season 8 to 9 had smaller damage spikes than other classes, and also were often described as being a little bit behind in the total map farm. So junglers maybe got a little bit lighter nerfs here in the itemization, but as we said, still everybody getting nerfs, so they still got some, and we still nerfed what we identified as their most prevalent items.
Yeah, and that, again, that's the thing. Even if it's like, well, they're not the most powerful, but they're still all right. Or like, we wanted to touch everything. We want to make everything feel a little more sane, I guess, would be a good way to say it. So yeah, some of those damage items, some of the top damage items for them, down just a little bit. Next up, we're going into the Hunter world. So for Hunters, we have Aussie, Atalanta's Bow, Wind Demon, Deathbringer, Envenomed Deathbringer, and Malicious Deathbringer. All of those getting touched as well. Clumsy, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, Hunters are in a similar vein, but there's also a lot of cross-itemization like we talked about between the Crusher. I mean, even Hydra's Lament we're seeing on a couple of these Hunters as well, Jotun's too. Deathbringer is a similar case with a lot of these glyph items. In fact, you might have seen a lot of these actually being targeted because they were probably a little bit too strong on their top end. You know, we chose items that were probably going to be prevalent in a lot of these builds. Deathbringer, Envenomed Deathbringer specifically is, you know, they're all quite strong. So keep an eye, there might be further nerfs there too. But we also wanted to make sure that we keep an eye on how the Hunters builds are playing out right now. In fact, you might even see that they're not extremely high power focused. There are a lot of utility stats. There's a lot of lifesteal, there's a lot of attack speed, so we wanted to focus some of those. Aussie and Atlanta's and Wind Demon, those are 3 extremely popular item builds right now for Hunters. So those ones definitely needed to go down in their stats. But if you actually look at them individually, they don't have that much power themselves. It's the different efficiencies that they provide to the Hunter. So that's why we address them in different ways. So Wind Demon, you know, as a passive duration, you can say that's power coming off it in a different way. Aussie and Atlanta's Bow with the lifesteal and the attack speed, it's powerful for Hunter in a different mechanism. But Deathbringer, one of the core luxury items, absolutely we can just take the physical power off straight from that.
Whew. All right, so many things. We've gone over so many. We're moving into now the block that makes me the most sad because I am a Guardian lover. Guardian items, because obviously there's a lot of good Guardian items as well. We're going to bring the power down. We want to bring everything down just a little bit so that we don't see, like they said, kind of that Guardian spike. Don't want to be constantly steamrolled in lane by Atlas, which is what I would do if I could. So we're going to see Pridwin, Sovereignty, Heartward Amulet, Amulet of Silence, Amulet of Stronghold, Celestial Legion Helm, Vamp Shroud, and the Mantle of Discord, all getting touched from the Guardian role.
So there's a few different sub-archetypes within this. So Pridewin, probably one of the most meta items. This shield also translates to the explosion damage, so this is a nerf on both regards, which is really good. Sovereignty and Heartward just taking small shaves of physical or magical protection, kind of as part of our overall net decrease. And again, they're taking smaller nerfs than most of the other builds of aggressive classes are. Celestial Legion Helm and Vamp Shroud are more specifically solo lane Guardian items, and those do have power that matters.
Oh yeah.
And those are getting power nerf, both of which should be pretty significant because we're seeing solo lane Guardians be pretty prevalent right now. So the Vamp Shroud specifically is a pretty big nerf to a starter item. 10 power off of a starter item is pretty heavy.
Yeah.
So hoping to bring a little bit more balance back between Guardians and Warriors in the solo lane, as well as just decrease that Guardian damage. Mantle of Discord is something that's good for everyone, so also a good one to nerf. Of
course.
That item just brings a lot of powerful effects to it. So I think it's about time it got this nerf anyway.
Yeah, and the interesting there, I think that AJ touched upon is that Vamp Shroud is one of the only starters that we're looking at right now. But I think that's something that's been really important to see, especially in the high level, right? We've had a couple of weeks of SPL play, and we're seeing Guardians kind of dominating. Vamp Shroud, we know, is really, really a heavy hitter for them, and they're getting that right off the bat. Because a lot of these other power changes we wanted to make sure would address, kind of the mid to late game. This one was very, very early game focused, and This might be a problem for like Vamp Shroud for maybe the other laners who want to pick this up for like mid mages, but that's something we can address at a later time. We wanted to make sure not to stifle what's going on in like the higher level scene too.
Well, I think a really important thing here to note is that this was a new process for us.
Yes,
very new.
Very.
We are 100% open to continuing this into future updates.
Oh yeah.
So one of the things, like Clumsy mentioned, this is the only starter item. We have been looking at starter items. We are open to nerfing starter items in the next update if we need to, if we feel like that's necessary as well. There's also conquest changes, which we're going to get into a little bit here. But our next update after this, the 9.5 update, is going to be a true conquest update.
Yeah.
With specific changes, map art changes, and mechanic changes to conquest. So going to handle a lot more things there. So as we're wrapping up on our items, just wanted to get that plug in again that this is a process. We will keep moving towards it. If everyone loves this and wants more of it, we'll consider doing more of it. If, we're going to see, it's going to be really hard to predict what this creates, right? We have a lot of, a lot of our betting pool predictions internally about what's going to be good and what's not going to be good. And we're going to be very interested to see where we were right and where we weren't, and we'll react accordingly. So we do have one more item, not part of the nerf patch. This is a rework.
Yeah.
This is a rework for quality of life and functional purposes. We've been wanting to make this item just feel better to use. This is something we had working on in the background. It required some engineering tasks, and as we got it complete, we still wanted to go ahead and ship it, but we did ship it with a nerf, so it is a shift.
Yeah.
So not necessarily a net buff. It is a net damage decrease, but this Archmage's gem now is only going to proc and remove the stack if you successfully damage an enemy god. So no more will a random lane minion steal your bonus damage proc away from you.
Keep in mind, this is the upgrade to the starter. This is not Conduit Gem, the starter itself. That's functioning the same way where it's going to be hitting minions too.
Correct. This is this is the level 20 required upgrade.
So, something to very much work towards as you get into this. So that's going to kill off all the items. That's a lot of nerfs we just went through. Obviously, we have the gods we still have to talk about, but I'm just going to reiterate what they said already. We said this last update notes or show, and we're listening to y'all. If there's something y'all want to be changed, share that feedback. Let us know. Drop it places. We're always looking for it. That's what makes this. We're always willing to try new things, and hopefully you can see that with this, because this has been crazy, absolutely crazy. So we're moving into gods now, and again, a lot of nerfs. Everything you're going to see is a nerf. You can check the update notes for this, but we're starting with Tiamat. So Primordial Onslaught getting a little bit of a reduction.
We wanted to touch on one more feature.
Oh, that's true.
Before we move into gods.
A big one. This is exciting too. Diminishing returns. So actually, another, I guess, nerf buff. It's a buff to diminishing returns, a nerf to a lot of other things. I'll let AJ talk about
We're
the
doing
specifics.
a buff to diminishing returns, which will mean a net nerf to CC in the game.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
What we're doing is that. So quick reminder: if you do get hit by a hard CC in Smite, you get a invisible stack of diminishing returns applied to you, which lasts for 15 seconds. It's relatively long, and that makes the next CC you're hit by 33% less effective.
Yep.
We're going to be buffing that up to 40% less effective. So getting chain CC'd is going to be less effective. There's a floor at which the max reduction. Currently, you could reduce CCs down to 0.5 seconds from this effect. We're now going to let you reduce it down to 0.4 seconds. If the CC is already lower than that, it's not affected by this rule. But so in both of those cases, CC is getting nerfed. That does not affect roots and knockups. Knockups have their own knockup height that is not affected by DR, but does apply DR for future things. And roots are not categorized into hard CC in Smite because you can dash and leap out of them. So those will not be affected by this. So potentially, the root and knockup characters might feel a little stronger because everyone else's CC is getting nerfed. Also, things that are channeled or grabs or pulls like that are also not going to be changed by this. But they do. A lot of those do apply diminishing returns. So big CC nerf, effectively game wide, and just another note that we will be reviewing the feedback from this, and we will be open to making more changes to this rule set in the future.
Yeah, and again, all outlined in the update notes, but a super important change because again, like we're touching everything, that rule touches so many different reactions or interactions and characteristics within the game that we're excited to see how it plays out and excited to see what change this prompts and what reaction it prompts from y'all, the community. So
now we can talk about
now we can talk about
28 today because I counted Shiva and Bastet from bonus. So
yeah,
28 individual god nerfs today.
So many pages.
We'll try to be we're going to be a little quick just because otherwise we'll be here all day.
Yeah, gonna eat dinner.
The designers will be able to answer any follow-up questions on social media as well as the community team. I think Lermy's planning on doing a little Q&A stream later today or tomorrow. Tonight.
Today.
So if you want to ask for more follow-up questions for more details on some of these, because we're going a little fast today, just so we're not here all day. But
so yeah,
Tiamat was the first one on the list,
Tiamat,
right?
yeah, Primordial Onslaught.
This is her charge-up multi-fire projectile.
Yeah.
This is kind of her core damaging ability. And this ability can really chunk.
Yeah, it can.
Especially in the late game. The numbers don't look all that crazy when you look at them, but when you can get hit by multiple effects and those stacking with other triggers, like this ability hits hard.
Yeah, because you're obviously getting, like, every time she ranks us up, you're getting multiple projectiles that can fire, because in the early ranks it's only 2 projectiles. Later on, you increase the number of projectiles. So you're actually, it's just stacking on itself. Then there's a subsequent damage reduction, and based off this, you're gonna have to trust us that the numbers hopefully will add up to surmountable nerf for Tiamat.
The Tiamat's maybe a little bit lower in the meta than a couple of other gods we mentioned, but as we were mentioning, we're trying to top nerf like the top 4, 5, 6 gods in every class, every role. So that's getting the top picks, and then even some of the picks that some of you might still perceive as kind of middle tier or like top of the mid tier, but you know, they're on the list still. It's happening.
Yeah.
The next god is very powerful right now, so
yeah,
this,
and that
this
would be
nerf is ready for it's the right time for it.
Yeah, it's a good time for this one. You kind of hammer on the nail, and that's Agni getting decreased power and scaling across both combustion and rain fire. So you want to get into that?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Agni's kit, he obviously, after the changes we made to him recently, he kind of shot up in both popularity and damage, and that's with the extra damage, you know, on the stun and the Noxious Fume proc. If you actually have a look at the numbers, combustion actually does a whole bunch of damage. So reducing some of the scaling on that one, which is his passive ability, right, which is just something he's getting on top of his other abilities, was kind of a no-brainer. And then the other one that hits quite hard, with a little bit of variance involved, is his ultimate, right? If you're going to hit by 3 different shots of rain fire, you're going to be hit by a lot of damage. So this change here is going to be honestly stacking depending on how many hits you're going to be affected by with rain fire.
Yeah, and all good changes, because constant damage being put up by Agni is insane, and being immediately blown up by the fireball.
Yeah, and he's a bit of an artillery mage as well, so he can kind of do some of this from range if he wants to, which makes it even safer of a nerf.
Yeah, so good stuff to see. Next up, Persephone also getting some damage reduction and a change to Grasp of Death. So what's going on?
She's getting magical power scaling decreases on all of her effects from the harvest ability, so the plants, both the initial nuke and the follow-up bite. And then Grasp of Death is no longer going to apply attack speed reduction, which can make it much easier to break out of it. So effectively a CC nerf on this ability that doesn't really have any easy durations to nerf. It's all very it's all part of a very scripted presentation, but now you'll be able to break out of it more easily if you get trapped in that cage, which I think will be a nice way of counterplaying Persephone.
Unless you're me and you panic and try to run away because you're like, I just want to run away. Never works, always die. Next up, Soul getting touched a little bit on some damage as well. Stellar Burst and Supernova. I mean, less fire in the game, I guess?
Yeah, exactly. Right, we've got Agni and Soul changes. Soul is one of those ADC mages that's probably doing the best right now.
Fair enough.
She can play mid lane very well,
She's
too.
been playing mid lane. She's obviously, we've seen Zaman doing really well on the dual lane as well. Hitting her Stellar Burst is something, you know, her main poke tool as well as her main wave harass tool. And Supernova was kind of a no-brainer as well with that ultimate damage. It's going to have a subsequent damage reduction as well, or the first hit's going to be the most important. So hitting that on the top end of scaling is going to be a pretty big chunk.
Indeed it will. And again, yeah, just less fire in the game, less chances for me to randomly be burned to a crisp. Next up, Scary Bird getting touched a little bit. Thoth, Hieroglyph Assault, and Final Judgment both seeing a little bit of decrease.
Yeah, Mage Pen buffs brought this god back real full force. He's still a very high skill god, so you don't see him as much in casual play. You do see him a lot in high-end play and ranked play. He can do quite a bit of damage from long range, right? You got to hit all your abilities, but if you do, he does quite a lot of damage. So you're getting scaling nerfs here on his core damaging ability. As I said, a lot of these changes pretty formulaic. We're looking at core damaging abilities of the top characters and nerfing their base or scaling. Mages, we targeted scaling a little bit more and then some of them base because mage end game damage is very high. And we've already seen mages, because of the flat pen nerfs again, fall behind a little bit in the early games. We're already seeing hunters come back to the mid lane a little bit, so you see a little bit more scaling nerfs on mages than some other classes. But Thoth, all in all, this guy nukes, this guy shreds, so he's getting nerfed.
Yeah, he can also see the future because that scream he does with his ult is usually the scream I do after he's killed me with his ult. So Zeus up next, also getting some nerfs. Crazy, bet you didn't guess that.
Top god in the meta right now, Zeus, huh?
Zeus is a hoarder, dude. I love him though, honestly. Going into arena, throwing that ult, minty.
Is that aggro crying? I think,
yeah, true. Why do you think he's not here? Because he threatened me.
He said he could only present one Zeus nerf in a patch, right?
Yeah.
This is the second one in a row, I believe.
Yeah, he's recovering from
it's
Zeus Heartbreak. He's recovering
But I mean,
from.
I think everyone is aware that Zeus needs some nerfs right now, which is crazy because he's not only good in other game modes, but he's finally successful in Conquest.
Yeah.
We've given some time to shine, but in the nerfing patch, Zeus is not going to be exempt. So hitting his main 2 damaging abilities, Chain Lightning and Detonate. We've hit some of these before, but further hits on that. And I think the important one is we're also decreasing the slow on Chain Lightning as well.
Another CC
So a little bit of that CC nerf coming in. 30% to 20%, that's still going to be, it's pretty sizable. You'll feel it for sure.
Yeah.
We usually don't go that much lower than 20% on a lot of these abilities.
All good stuff though. So we're kind of rotating away from the mages now. We're going towards Achilles. as well, getting some nerfs. I feel like that doesn't even bear repeating. Gift of the Gods and Shield of Achilles both getting touched on, getting a little downgraded.
Right, he gets a lot of free stats from his passives, either
does.
protection or power, so both of those coming down. Specifically, you know, we're a little more concerned about power. We hit them both just to make sure one didn't quite take over the other. And then Shield of Achilles, his primary damaging ability, we are decreasing the long range damage. You might be looking at this and you might read it as a scaling change, but it is more significant than that because this actually gives his distant targeter a 5% nerf overall to its base and scaling. So it's actually a pretty significant buff or nerf to the long range hit of the shield. If he still hits you close range though, it will still be the same damage.
True that. Said the word buff, threw me out, dude. I'm totally out of whack.
I know. I don't know why I would accidentally say a word like that today when there's just no reason to use it at all.
In the nerfing, I know.
Well, I said that some characters are getting buffed in a way that their competition is getting nerfed. Like I always call every Hide of Nemean Lion nerf a hunter buff.
Sure. Fair enough. I mean, yeah, you're slashing the tires of Hide of Nemean Lion. So next up we have Shock, horrifying giant axe lightning man. Rain Dance and Storm Call, both seeing nerfs. So what are those?
Yeah, so we hit one Storm God, we thought we'd hit the other. No.
Yeah.
So this one's actually a little bit different, right? Because one of the things that we wanted to keep in mind of is we wanted to hit power and a lot of these gods that are contributing a lot of power to the game. We hit items too. Another thing we want to look at who's just performing quite well and who's high popularity. And Shock is absolutely one of those. Maybe you're not seeing him in the ranked as much as or in the SPL that much, but he is very high up there in the stats. We wanted to make sure we looked at this systematically, right? Statistically, and that was he was part of that discussion. We didn't want to miss him on that case. So Shock, he didn't. We also had to look at the damage that he provides. We're also hitting warrior itemization, and we noticed that Shock's strengths aren't really in that. What we did notice is that obviously his ultimate has a lower than normal cooldown, so we brought that in line. I thought that would be pretty fair. Right. And his healing tick is actually pretty insane. So much so that Shocks are building Transcendence, and that is not a troll pick in the solo lane. That is contributing to his damage, but as well as to the crazy amount of scaling that the healing provides. So this was an easy nerf for Shock there.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I love that sustain in lane. It's one of the reasons that Shock has definitely been kind of a go-to for me. So it makes sense to see it go, much as I like it. Next up, the Dropkick King Gilgamesh, also seeing some nerfs. Sunforged Scimitar, Winds of Shamash. This makes sense. I've seen a lot of him in my recent games, at least kicking me into or through walls and stuff. So, I mean, what are these gonna imply?
Yeah, this god is still very powerful. We've seen him flex well into the jungle as well. Decreasing the duration as well as the bonus damage scaling for health on Sunforged Scimitar is going to just bring down his total damage quite a bit. That ability is probably his main, or certainly his main damage output. It lasts very long. You can extend the duration, and just having basic attacks to follow up for a lot of damage after your abilities is really powerful on a warrior. So bringing that down quite a bit in multiple different ways. And then Winds of Shamash's ultimate already had pretty high scalings as well. Yeah. So that's specifically going to be hitting the jungle Gilgamesh. Is going to be building a little bit more power. Won't be able to secure the kills as easily with that ultimate. Really, trying to push it more towards a zoning and control ultimate and less towards a big AoE nuke.
Yeah, that makes sense. Lots of sand in the eyes with that one. Mulan up next. Another character that I love to see. Great abilities, but I get it. The damage has been crazy. The solo lane fights have been hard to deal with. So cross strike and spear thrust both kind of dropping down a little bit.
Yeah, it's almost like a what year are we in kind of thing, just because like previously Mulan was one that we've been struggling to buff constantly. We've had people saying like, okay, where's Mulan? All right, where's Mulan? Well, here Mulan is, and Mulan's definitely doing quite strong statistically. So I think everyone's pretty happy to see some nerfs here. We're going to be hitting two of her most damaging abilities, her cross strike and her spear thrust. Spear thrust is also an interesting one because you can hit, especially when it's leveled up, is you can hit a target twice. And individually, the spear thrust damage isn't actually that impressive. It's when you hit targets multiple times with it. So we targeted specifically the bonus damage on hitting the same target twice with spear thrust, because that's an easy way of saying like, hey, if you get hit by once, it's not a lot of damage. That doesn't need the nerf. You get hit twice, which feels like a lot of damage. That's where the nerf is coming in.
Yeah, and a good place to see it. So up next, Shiva, done a whole lot of good since they hit the battleground. I mean, crazy amount of new plays. It's been fun watching all the highlights that have to do with this new god. But I mean, just like everybody else, a nerf is needed because a lot of power out of this one. So it looks like Pillar of Dawn having a bit of a change to the way it handles CC.
Yeah, Clumsy, you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. So we've hit a lot of we've heard a lot of discussion of how strong Shiva is, and we've hit him a lot in different places. We hit him as well in the bonus patch, which already went live. He's a warrior that's quite strong. He's a little bit resistant to nerfs. I think that's a little bit obviously
Haven't seen much pro play for him though.
And yeah, and it's also pretty unique because he's probably performing, he is, and there's no probably about it, he is performing way better in casual game modes than he is in the high level ranks and in pro play. I think we saw him debut in the SPL finally after being allowed in, and he showed up twice in the jungle, performing, well, I believe in one of the games as well as in the support lane. Not quite in the warrior lane, which is previously why we've been hitting a lot of his scaling. We did have the bonus balance nerf that went in, and one thing that you guys wanted to see a lot was some way of, locking him down a little bit more. So we introduced a new rule here for Shiva, which is that his Pillar of Dawn, which has previously been CC immune, is still CC immune except for stuns. You can now counterplay him and break him out of the ability by using a stun on him. It's something that we don't do often, but it's kind of felt thematic because it would feel weird if he was still knock upable, if he could still slip and slide on Scotty. But being a stun, that's something very intentional there. Whether we felt that was appropriate. We're also obviously open to nerfing him more if necessary. I think that's kind of a given.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, as we continue to say, we're always up for listening to feedback. So we'll be interested to see how people work this new change into how they play this god and see how it pans out in the battleground. Next up, Bologna, as featured directly before us on the table, getting nerfed to Shield Bash and Bludgeon. So again, just bringing some stats down, AJ.
Yeah, Bologna's come back big time, which is cool. We haven't seen her in quite a while, but she's doing really well right now. Shield Bash has a uncharacteristically high slow, I'd say. Generally, we don't put slows at 35%. Like, that's high for a warrior. So shifting that down at all ranks, and then Bludgeon spin damage. Now, this is the initial warm-up damage. This is still a 10 damage base damage nerf, which is very similar to what we might do on many different abilities. But this is the part that is generally more confirmable, hits more of the wave. So this is going to take down her early game damage quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure. So that's kind of the warrior section. Now we're kind of rotating into assassin. So again, the scary jungle jumpers that are leaping out and murdering me at level 2. And Camazotz is the first on the list. Hurts a little bit because I love Camazotz, but Bat Out of Hell is getting a nerf, and it makes sense because that ability is awesome and great to get away with. So
I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head there, right? Yeah. You can get away with it. You can use it to safely attack enemies while up in the air where they can't really answer. We made the quality of life changes previously, and we've had to nerf him since. We're still seeing that he's quite strong, so kind of reducing the top end of this damage a little bit more. Remember, it's going to be, he has 3 different hits, so some of these numbers may look small by themselves, but you're now to stack them up.
20 damage times 3, that's a big nerf.
Yep. And we noticed obviously that the level 1, the rank 1 damage isn't even that high. 100 damage multiplied by that 3, that's still not that high for an assassin over time. So we lean more towards the mid and late game.
Right.
Yeah. Well, cool. The next assassin kind of on the chopping block here is Arachne, getting some damage reductions across both Predator and Venomous Bite. So scary spider.
Now you see, we didn't write dev notes for every single god because it was just going to be a huge thing. And kind of glad I don't have the Arachne there, because having to put in writing that Arachne is OP, I know people will be making fun of me eventually. But instead, we're just going to talk about it here on the show.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, Arachne is one of the highest performing gods in the entire game, specifically in Conquest at all skill levels. She does very well even at high skill levels. It is only in the most organized pro play that she tends to really fall behind, because she can really be countered and focused. But she is just an absolute solo game, ranked grind stomp god. So we did focus on 2 different specific things to nerf for her. Her passive, which actually increases her basic attack damage by a relatively large percent based on the opponent's missing health. So that just makes her basics hit really hard. So this nerf here might look like a small number, but it will really add up. And then Venomous Bite power scaling, because that is a deceptively hard-hitting ability as well.
Yeah.
People don't expect it's going to hit them so hard, but it really does hit very hard.
Yeah, and what a lot of people underestimate about Arachne is that she's part spider, which is horrifying. So it just makes sense.
It's the fear factor, right?
Yeah, that's
an added buff. Right?
Again, mental crits.
And speaking of which.
And speaking of which, for horror, we have Kleena up next, our Halloween champion. Again, just seeing some nerfs kind of across the board. Banshee's Wail, Lurching Claw, and Tearing the Veil, all kind of being brought down a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, Kleena's a really interesting one as well, because when she first came out, we saw a lot of people, kind of struggling to do well a little bit.
Complicated.
I think she has a very high skill floor and high skill ceiling. And then we saw, once people got used to her, people maybe started realizing that it's harder and harder to get away from good Kleenas. Now she's, I think, almost like a perma
one of the top gods
in the SPL. She's one of the top gods, and it's pretty noticeable that good Kleenas with a bit of damage can do a whole bunch. So we're just hitting a little bit of power scaling on pretty much all of her abilities there. If we need to hit her again sometime in the future, I think that's not a
Interesting side note about this one is that it was probably the most requested nerf of why wasn't it in bonus.
Right.
And because we were doing, usually bonus is all the nerfs. but we couldn't put all these nerfs in bonus, and
that
we
would be
needed to have
so
the update
big.
show. We needed to talk, so we kept most of the nerf. Obviously, we only shipped 2 nerfs in bonus, and they were the actual what we perceived as the number 1 and number 2 gods in the game, being Shiva and Bastet. Kalina was number 3 though in that analysis.
Yeah, close.
And we kind of discussed shipping her nerf early as well, but we wanted to keep the nerf patch really contained and all together, because also we wanted to bring all these gods down together.
Yeah.
We didn't really want to see too much shifting over the first 2 weeks. So apologies to those of you who really called it on the Kalina nerf. You were right. It was coming all along. It was on the way. We just wanted to keep this patch really solid, keep everything together, and make a big impact to the game all out at once when 9.4 launches and the Jade Emperor arrives. We still got like 15 gods, 16 gods left to go?
Something like that. So we're going to
Let's
keep
keep
blazing a
moving.
trail. Next up, Loki. Behind you and Vanish, both getting brought down a little bit. Talk about the Loki. The nerf.
I mean, Clumsy, this is yours.
Yeah, go for it, Clumsy.
I would say.
Yeah, sure.
Oh no! Oh, I took the end of Kalina, so
Yeah,
it is actually mine.
it's up to you.
I mean, Clumsy.
It's either way.
You know, I know, Danny knows. Loki is
all
a
know.
burst god,
Yeah,
right? That is what he does. We slowed him down a little bit with the rework, but he's still very burst defined. He also has some of his best meta performances in the last few months since his rework, which I guess has been
Which is
over a
pretty
year
cool.
now or
Yeah.
whatever. Time is a flat circle, but he's still doing really well. He's getting scaling nerfs to compensate for that.
Easy
True that.
peasy.
All right, so this one's for Clumsy. We'll do Tsukuyomi next. Dark Moon Shuriken and Silver Moon Caltrops, both getting hurt, both getting brought down.
Yeah,
Lay it on
keeping it concise, Tsukuyomi is one of the assassins that's performing quite well right now.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit more of like a pub stomper assassin. He can do a lot of his damage from range and then kind of use his ultimate to come in and cement that. So a little bit of that, you know, we talked about how we're going to be adjusting power for some of these gods. Tsukuyomi's getting something here where it's adjusting his power because his main poke tool and jungle clear tool with Dark Moon Shuriken is actually going to be increasing its cooldown. 10 seconds is pretty low, and in a meta where it's probably been a while where cooldown is pretty prevalent for assassins, that can get really, really low, especially to the late game. And he's getting his range basic attack bonus after that as well. So increasing the cooldown is going to be decreasing his power throughout. And then Silver Moon Caltrops is just going to be the ranged follow-up attack. So similarly talking about those ranged follow-up attacks that Tsukuyomi can gain, it's actually going to be reducing the scaling from that because a 40% hit for a bonus to an ability that already does damage is pretty strong.
Yeah, and there's a lot of damage there. Plus, those Caltrops are just incredibly hard to deal with.
Legos.
So now we're true Legos. Now we're kind of moving into the hunter area. So we got a couple hunters we're going to talk about, starting with Amuz and Cobb. So the bee having some reductions to both Swarm and Stinger. AJ?
Yeah, when you think damage in hunters, this is often one of the first ones that comes to mind.
Yeah.
He's been an interesting balance target over the years because he's often extremely strong or nobody wants to play him at all. He's currently in the strong section of those two. We're trying to keep him, we're trying to avoid sending him back into the shadow realm like he has been in the past. But we are going to be seeing damage nerf on the Swarm, his key lane clear and key poke ability, as well as the Stinger, which again, kind of like the Zeus change, recently got some new utility, which is great. We're really happy with the way we're introducing some of this new utility to the gods, but it is very important to remove the damage that they were. Gods who are relying only on damage tend to be some of the less fun to play or a little bit less or more difficult to balance. Introducing new utility and taking out damage is a great way to make the god more interesting, more counterplay, more unique applications, but that damage has got to come down, and that's what's coming down here, as well as that slow, which was a new introduction coming down again.
Yeah, and that totally makes sense. You want to, if the ability's one hitting, then like, oh, there's no counterplay, there's no
damage nerf, CC nerf. Damage nerf, CC nerf.
Boom, good to go. Nerfing all the bugs. Next up, Apollo across the sky, decreasing some physical power scaling.
Yeah, this one's pretty targeted. It's going to be on the ultimate. Obviously, he got a little bit of utility on that a little while back, and we've noticed that kind of the difference between really strong Apollos and really weak Apollos is or in performance is when you can get multiple channels, multiple ticks of that channel across the sky. Because you're getting the 5% scaling, but it's per tick. If you've ever seen someone get...
Ooh, that hits so hard if you get
crowd
the whole
control or
thing.
anything like that, if you're locked in place and you get hit by the entire thing, you're being decimated. So this is probably a pretty fair bringing down the top end a little bit of that damage from Apollo.
Sounds good. Next up, Puyi, little... What is it? Golden Crow, little brought down, little nerf. AJ?
Yeah, this is a smaller nerf. Ho-Yi, we saw a bit of his showing up in the meta. He's slowed down a little bit, but he's always lurking there because he's very good at high level and he can do really cool things with his ricochet and jungle clear. So Mark of the Golden Crow actually provides just flat damage increase on the person you've marked, which a lot of people underestimate the power of this effect. So we're only taking you down 1% per rank, but when you apply that to all of his abilities and the duration that the mark lasts on you, that is effectively doing a small base and scaling nerf to his entire kit.
Yeah, essentially. So good to see that. Next up, Izanami. Been seeing a lot of Izanami, especially with that skin that dropped. I feel like I'm seeing it everywhere, which
People love that skin. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, we love it too. Glad y'all do as well. But it also is horrifying because she'll be invisible and then I'll be dead from sickles. So Sickle Storm getting nerfed a little bit.
Yeah, Sickle Storm is, it's an extremely high potent ability with that attack speed that's coming in. Even more so if you start building the Silver Branch bills on her. We saw a lot of, Izanami, especially coming in before the T5. Actually, she was quite a popular god, and even after the Tier 5. But around the time that we were even planning some of these nerfs, she was definitely one that deserves to be up there, especially because of her popularity. But we started seeing, the SPL coming in, high-level ranks coming in, stats coming in, and she was dropping off of favor. In fact, with the SPL, she was played, I think, more so beforehand, and
much more in Season 8 than in Season 9.
Way less now. So she definitely deserved to be on this list. It's a little bit lighter of a nerf, but of course you've got to incorporate all the other Hunter item nerfs.
Right.
But that's, that's
because she's a little lower on the current Hunter tier list.
Yeah, so accounting for that. Next up, we're going to have Medusa. Medusa, scary snakes, getting decreased just a little bit. Viper Shot and Lacerate both seeing some reduction. AJ?
So for a god that's actually on the top of the Hunter tier list, you're going to see here more nerfs. You're going to see base and base damage to Viper Shot as well as attack speed on Viper Shot. The Viper Shot attack speed number is huge, and it's a very short. It only applies to those shots, so it really just kind of connects the combo there. So that's not the most impactful buff, but that nerf, that just number was crazy. But the tick damage is certainly going to add up when you consider that base damage across multiplying it times 12 effectively, because you got about 3 ticks times 4 shots. And then also Lacerate being her dash, which has recently got a lot of improvements, quality of life, being able to hit minions, being able to dash through things, being able to, the anti-heal got moved off it.
Yep.
With that whole shift and buff, we saw Medusa come way up, so seeing another damage nerf here on Lacerate, which a huge burst combo, right? She can hit you with this, so that's going to all be coming down.
That's good. I mean, she definitely dives in on you, and you're like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm at the respawn screen, so I'll just hang out here. Good to see that happen. Next up, we're moving into Guardian territory now. So our Guardians are as well going to see some nerfs, and we're starting with Ardeo. So the big half-lady, half-horrifying bear monster is seeing Energy Surge and Heavy Charge both being brought down a little bit, right?
Yeah, with Guardians, like we talked about with the itemization, we've kind of got 2 different types. We've got the support Guardians and we've got the solo lane bruisers. RTO, most recently, actually, is definitely favoring the solo bruiser playstyle. We're going to have those heavy itemization changes like Celestial Legion Helm and Vampiric Crown, which should really help in the meta for Conquest. But of course, we have to keep an eye on what else she can provide in other game modes as well. RTO is definitely one that's up there. We are targeting her base damage across the, 2 main heavy hitters for her kit. This is going to help her. This is going to hurt her in lane, which is going to help bring her down and her efficacy in lane a little bit more.
Right.
And it's going to be a little bit not as punishing to to battle her out in lane, right? To box her in lane.
Right.
So
yeah.
Hopefully she won't be as frustrating to deal with.
Hopefully. So this next one, I had to cry off the studio for about 20 minutes before I was able to read. Atlas getting a nerf as well. Kinetic Charge being brought down.
You know he deserves it. You know.
I know. It still hurts though. So why?
I mean, Guardian's probably one of the most straightforward on the whole nerf patch. Every single one of them is getting base damage nerfs.
Yes.
It's that simple, right? We know. We've seen the stats. We've seen the feedback. It's very clear. Some of them also have peppered in a few scaling nerfs if we've been seeing them flex into solo lane a little bit. Or, like, spoiler alert, get to Kabrakan at the end, who's building straight up full mage. So there is some scaling nerfs across here, but Atlas, specifically this dash ability, doing a lot of damage, bringing that down. I think there was a couple different mobility abilities that we brought down in damage, because, you're already leaping or dashing. That's pretty strong. We can take down a damage, too.
He just wants to get closer to give you a hug. That's all it is.
It's a mighty hug.
Now, if you want to talk Guardian damage, we got the next god is ready to talk.
True, and the next god is Ares, and that Ares is having some shackles damage taken off. So clumsy shackles are weaker now, I guess.
Shackles are weaker now. I mean, there's times where Ares gets into the meta. There's times where you can say his flamethrower with the buffs and his ulti is quite strong. I don't think anyone has ever debated that the shackles damage on Ares is too low.
True.
So if we're looking at gods who are
it's
very
straight
strong,
one-shots people.
Yeah.
If you just
It's
don't,
crazy.
it's like one of the few abilities in the game that can. If you hit with all the chains
and you
hit all the
spread them
refires
out at the right
and spread
time,
the damage
always
out.
remember to do that. Yeah, you can actually one-shot. I mean, I love to do it. I think everyone likes to do it.
It's a long, it's a really slow one-shot, but I guess it still counts.
It does.
So yeah, Ares is one of the gods who, again, looking at all the metrics, looking at what's popular right now, what's strong, Ares deserves to be hit, and that's probably going to be a pretty hard hit for him.
Yeah, I can't say it's not deserved.
Not going to hurt his laning too much, though, because he's got a unique minion damager. It's just his PvP damage, which I think is really good for him.
Yeah, so no more insanely slow one-shotting hunters. So next up we have Bacchus, Intoxicate, also seeing some decrease, if you want to get into that, AJ.
Yeah, this is the Guardian nuke, right? This one hits real hard, so we're getting just
real hard, real fast.
base and scaling coming down on this one, just a noticeable amount. 40 damage at max rank. You know, that's a pretty significant nerf.
Yeah.
These are a lot of these nerfs are bigger nerfs than you might see on a normal patch as well.
Oh, yeah.
You don't usually see a 40 base damage nerf on a normal patch.
No. I mean, like we said, we're shooting for the moon on this one. We heard y'all. We want to give y'all what y'all want. We're really getting into it. Next up, this one was teased 4 seconds ago. Kabrakan, Seismic Crush, Tectonic Shift, both seeing some nerfage.
Yeah. I'll be honest. When we were having our meetings, we were talking about different guards that could be hit.
Yeah.
Kabrakan's one of those who I was like, okay, we were talking about Kabrakan, maybe it's a solo bruiser, and then I wasn't even sure how much he deserved. We looked at the stats, we looked at his SPL performance, and like, yeah, okay, he is
swinging
on the
right
list.
now.
Like, we're seeing him mostly picked as a jungler right now.
Yeah.
We're seeing a little bit of maybe solo, a little bit of support, but yeah, I think he absolutely deserves to be on this list. We're hitting him in 2 different spots: the Seismic Crush and the Tectonic Shift. All base like damage, base damage and scaling. 70%, 60%, I think is totally fine for a guardian, even if it's a bruiser one.
Right.
And he might need more nerfs after watching the SPL.
Yeah, he's been really good.
Yeah, the damage output recently has been insane, so I'm honestly happy to see it. Last but not least, on the Guardian section, we're going to have Cerberus, Paralyzing Spit, also seeing a little bit of nerfage.
Yeah, Cerberus may be a little bit towards the lower end of the tier list of what would be making the cut to get nerfed today, but Paralyzing Spit is one of the single hardest hitting burst abilities on a Guardian.
Yeah.
Hitting with all 4 hits. A lot of people think of 3, but they forget about the little snake. That's the 4th hit.
That last
It's actually 4. So it hits very hard. So we are nerfing that, and we already went ahead and did the math for you. It's actually 28 damage flat if you get hit by all 4 hits.
Yeah. And there you go. We even do math on this show, so
Sometimes.
it's incredible. Sometimes, yeah. Don't hold us to that.
We do a lot of math. We're game designers. We just don't talk about it. It's not very fun.
Yeah, mostly because, talking about it's painful and hard, and I don't have enough fingers. So the final thing that we're going to talk about in the God section is actually, it's a rework. It's just a rework. I'm just going to lay it out there. Erlang Shen having a lot of changes made, kind of continuing this trend of trying to see what we can change on a bit grander of a scale but in these updates. And I'm just going to let AJ take it away.
Yeah, so I might be referencing my notes here bit by bit, so apologies, because this is
much.
Normally for a God rework, we write out a very long blog post that explains a lot of our reasoning and our goals.
Yeah.
You can find that all on the patch notes on the patch notes document. Shout outs to our recent design acquirer, Hi-Rez Aggro, who worked on this very heavily and worked with me quite a bit on it and worked with me on this messaging. So great job. Feel free to contact him for your feedback and praise or complaints.
Praise.
Erlang Shen has had an interesting history in Smite. He was considered a little underwhelming by the general player base. He eventually found his pro footing in a variety of different roles, in a variety of different metas, where he was just the best god in his category, depending on the time and place.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much never in the solo lane. And one of the things we also learned from the circuit changes is just the way the community perceives flex gods. We like flex gods. We want to continue to encourage flex gods. But specifically, why do we want to rework Erlang Shen?
Yeah.
And that is because he has pretty much shown over the last 2+ years of SPL data that he is one of the top junglers. And he tends to push out a lot of other junglers out of the meta. He was the number 3 most banned god in the Season 9 kickoff tournament, number 5 most banned god in SWC Season 8. He also had extremely high priority pick and bans in the beginning of just a few weeks of the actual Season 9 SPL splits. So he's clearly up there for priority in pro play. However, his popularity in normal conquest is towards the bottom pack, number 77 out of 119.
Yeah, wow.
So he's really, really popular in the pro meta, but players still aren't picking him up. That's usually a good sign for a character for a rework.
Yeah.
He also way overperforms in his flex role. So generally, we love flex. We like flex.
Yeah.
I mean, you might not believe us. We're going to try to earn your trust back to prove you that we do like flex. But Erlang Shen was boasting over a 4% win rate increase in jungle over solo or support, which is a huge difference. That's a really big buff. Trying to get those back. Really, the main goal of the rework today is to bring down his jungle a little bit, bring up his solo a little bit. We don't want to kill his jungle.
No,
we just want to bring it down and shift it over. So how are we going to do that? We want to incentivize players to max the spot weakness ability. This ability makes him really good solo laner because you're boxing. You're hitting a lot of basic attacks. We also are going to make the 72 transformations less of priority. He's going to be seeing a significant removal, the loss of his CC knockup on the turtle form. That is being removed. Another CC change. A lot of players asking for CC changes, CC removal.
Of course.
We know that it is a huge nerf to a god, so with Erlang Shen removing a CC and adding a significant other new things to shift him around, it'll be a good experiment, it'll be a good data point. Let's see, Let's see, there's so much going on with this
literally,
kit.
it has just been so many nodes. It's crazy.
I mean, I'll go over the quick TLDR now of the kit itself. So Howling Celestial Dog is going to do less flat damage, but more damage based on target's max health. So better anti-tank, better for being against other warriors.
Yeah.
Spot Weakness is going to have less bonus damage and less bonus damage scaling significantly, so weaker power. But it's going to get a new component where it now gives Erlang Shen lifesteal, so sustain and solo lane.
Yeah.
And applies a stacking debuff that reduces the opponent's power.
Okay.
Which is really cool. Or I'm sorry, damage output.
Damage output, yeah.
So this lets him actually cause opposing warriors to deal less damage. So he can even use this as a peel feature. A lot of ways you can do this. A boxing feature.
Way more utility on that one.
Exactly, much more utility. 72 transformations is now going to be knock-up immune and slow immune while dashing. That's just going to make it a better dash, more consistent dash. We've been doing things like that across the game. Atlas was one situation.
Yeah. It's also slowly a little bit more comparative points to like Sun Wukong, who has similar things depending on which transformation he's in.
Right. Mink form is getting a buff now where it's going to get bonus movement speed. So if you do want to be aggressive and get that attack speed, you'll also get the movement speed so you can really stick on that target, land some extra basic attacks. Turtle is losing the knockup, the biggest nerf of the whole rework.
True.
And instead is going to gain protection scaling on the shield. So it's going to get a bigger base shield, and that shield is going to continue to get bigger if you buy protection items. So if you actually go full like damage Erlang or hybrid Erlang, you're going to be getting less shield health from this. And then finally, 9 turns Blessing is getting increased damage mitigation just to make him a little bit tankier during his ult. So a lot of changes, a lot of shifts. All over this kit. We really want to see people, one, just be more interested in trying this god in the first place.
Of course.
2, we want to see him try in multiple roles. We fully expect people to keep playing in jungle. That's great. We think he will be a little less competitive there, but hopefully we can see him show up in solo or support as well.
Wow, that was a lot. I mean,
nice.
That was so many things.
It was.
We were sitting around beforehand like, man, we're not going to be able to talk tomorrow.
68 or something. I forgot to actually add it up. Total nerfs.
Yeah, again, math on the show only happens sometimes. All on the update notes, live now. Go check it out. I mean, again, just a huge amount of nerfs. We wanted to touch everything. We wanted to do everything we could to, take the feedback that we've been getting about CC about.
Double-sided.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are double-sided.
Yeah, it's like a novel. So yeah, but that's gonna end the 9.4 nerf section. So all of that actually coming out next week. As I'm sure a lot of y'all know, we're in a new schedule right now.
Yeah,
so you'll be looking forward to this update coming out next week on Tuesday.
So soon, so excited.
Right around the corner, you'll be able to get to all of this stuff right away. I mean, the countdown starts now essentially, but look forward to all of that because we're excited to share it. We're excited to see y'all get into this. Now we're moving into community news. No nerfs in community news this time, so we can take a nerf breather. So first up, I just want to remind y'all about the Prime Gaming skins that are currently available. Currently, Rambo Uller is available for claim through Prime Gaming, so make sure that y'all are going and claiming that skin. We're super excited about it. We've loved this, and we love to see it in game. Following that, though, is actually we're gonna show y'all guys something new. A new Prime Gaming skin will be coming soon after the glorious Rambo. And that's going to be Shredder Ravana, Super Shredder Ravana. So we're excited to show that off. That'll be available May 5th. And yeah, it's another brand new Ninja Turtle skin that, again, we're just all extremely excited about. Oh, look at him. I absolutely love it. That like dark color palette is so good. So super excited. We're excited to have this in game. And it'll be available May 5th. My brain is like fried from all the nerfing. SPL news is also something that we're going to have more of, and that's just the SPL's going. It's rocking on. Make sure y'all are catching the games. It's been super exciting. Glad to have SPL back because, I mean, what else do you turn on while you're chilling in the afternoons on the weekend? There's nothing else. It's constantly Twitch, constantly SPL games, and I'm super excited that we're able to have all of that back. And next is actually kind of a big thing. So we put out a blog about this as well as the update notes today, so y'all can get into it now. But the SMITE standalone launcher we're waving it goodbye with update 9.4. For those of you who don't know, that the launcher has been unavailable for a long time now, so people haven't been able to download it. You could still use it if you had it originally or had never uninstalled it, but it is going away as of 9.4. It's not going to be updated anymore, so if you are using that, make sure you hop over to one of the other platforms. This isn't going to affect anything for the other platforms, so Steam, Epic Game Store, Amazon Luna, you'll be able to play through all of that. But with 9.4 update, you will no longer be able to use the standalone launcher. So again, with the my brain just lost. Account sharing between accounts. You have nothing to worry about as long as your accounts are linked up. Everything is going to be available on any of the other PC platforms. So just make sure that you link those accounts up. But again, the standalone launcher is seeing its final goodbye with update 9.4. So for those of you who have used it, wish it a wonderful farewell. And we'll be excited to see all of y'all join on Steam, Epic Game Store, or Amazon Luna. So with that, we're going to rotate into a little bit of quality of life here, and also welcome our newest guest to the couch, Lermy.
Hey.
Yeah, welcome, Lermy. You should have seen it. It was horrifying. About 12 seconds ago, that couch ate clumsy, so that was scary. Glad you were brave enough to sit there, though. So we have a little bit of quality of life, AJ, if you want to go through
Lermy, I'm
that.
jealous. You got to be over there watching the feedback while we were doing the nerfs. How's it looking? Are people happy out there?
Yeah, I think it's honestly a really exciting patch, and I'm hoping that everyone's going to get a chance to experience like all of the new shifts that are going to come from all of the nerfs, especially.
Yeah.
I'm sure that we'll see a lot of new gods rise to the top, new items, new builds, new strategies, and that's going to be the biggest exciting part for me.
So incredible.
Awesome. I know we don't have any Twitch chat. I don't have my Twitter feed up. You know, I feel I'm blind. I'm lost. I need to hear what the people want. I'm going to have to wait until the show's over. All right, first we got some quality of life things to go over, though. First thing, I just want to reassure everyone that our team is working on the server connectivity issues.
Of course.
We've been still working to mitigate some of the resulting issues from an attack we had last week. We do have a significant performance fix going live with this 9.4 update.
Yeah.
But we're going to be continually monitoring that up through that. It is a high priority for us, but this is a very new type of challenge we've experienced here in this last week, and we do apologize and thank you for bearing with us. Improvements are on the way and shipping with the 9.4 patch.
Yeah.
In a more fun announcement, we have the achievement avatar for 120 gods mastered, being Jade Emperor being god number 120. So that will be an exciting thing to get. Log in and make sure you master that god to get that avatar. We also have some really nice quality of life updates to the jungle practice mode.
Yeah.
Shout outs to our Olympians and people who are always advocating for improvements on that mode.
Giving us that
so we do
feedback,
have a new area that'll be classified as the jungle. So areas where the god bots are, the fire giant, the gold fury, and the buff camps will now be considered jungle volume.
Cool.
So you can use items like protector of the jungle that will actually apply there now. We also added a button spawner in the Tower and Phoenix area to spawn a titan. So you can fight and scrim against the titan. And we also added some HUD health bars. Those are the ones you normally would see in a game. When you enter a boss area, there's an additional pop-up health bar that comes up. That'll also now work in jungle practice. And the final quality of life announcement I have is that we are now in 9.4. We did talk about this a little bit previously, but we hadn't executed it yet. But in 9.4, we will start rotating the viewer store every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
As opposed to 4 weeks. That means you'll have twice as many looks at different skins to spend those free viewer points you earn on. But it also means that they will be there for a shorter number of times. So if you want that skin, make sure you get your points or get ahead of it, because essentially so now going forward, every launch day there'll be new viewer point skins, and then every bonus day also new viewer point skins. We also have a lot of bug fixes. I'm not going to go through them all right now, but please check the patch notes, check those out. Kitten of Doom helped me write these up, and she's just been working so hard verifying all those from QA team and getting them through the system. So please check them out. We have quick shout out to our Olympians for helping us fix a large amount of localization issues in the Spanish language client of Smite, as well as some custom games, God Builder fixes, UI fixes, and gods and items. So definitely check those out.
So many things. Yeah, that document is living and breathing. I look at it and then I'll take a sip of water and look back, and there's 15 new things and comments and questions. So super great, a lot of info there. Love to see all of that. And that kind of goes to our quality of life. I'm excited now to hop into something that y'all were aware of a while ago, and we're finally getting into the game in 9.4, and that is the Streamer Showdown. If y'all recall, Season 9 began with a little competition that we hosted with Nexus called the Season 9 Streamer Showdown, where we gave streamers the opportunity to earn in-game cosmetic items for being amazing content creators, for rallying their communities. And this is the update in which you're going to see those things come into the game. So I'm going to go through the different winners here, and we'll kind of show off a little bit. So third place winner was Incon. So congratulations to Incon. He'll be getting an announcer pack in-game for coming in third place. A huge triumph because there were a lot of talented people there. Second place, you're going to see Weekend with a global emote coming into the game. So that's as well very exciting. Going to have the emote or the global emote live in game with 9.4. And of course, we have our first place winner, Rexy, who did an amazing job, really rallied their community. It was incredible to watch. And Rexy is going to have several things in game. you're going to have an announcer pack, a ward, and an emote bundle, all available for Rexy. An incredible amount of effort came from these creators. Absolutely excited to see all of the hard work they did. And all of these will be claimable for free with update 9.4. Each of them has their own unique mission tied to it. So when you get in game, you'll see, hey, I got a couple new missions, and I'm going to get some really, really awesome community-centric swag that I get to show off and support my community with starting in 9.4. So again, huge shout out to Incon Weekend and Rexy for all of their amazing work and how hard they pushed themselves and rallied their communities for this competition. Super excited to see all of their content live in 9.4. So make sure you get them. Super excited. Again, I love shouting out our community because we love our community immensely. So now we're getting into some of our skins, one of my favorite sections of the show. I love getting to see all these new skins. I really don't see them a whole lot before this, so it's always amazing and surprising. And let's dive right in with a DLC for Zeus coming out with 9.4. This DLC will include the amazing new skin Almighty Archon Zeus, which is absolutely glorious. I mean, it looks beautiful.
Archon line, one of our most popular lines of skins, and I love the Almighty throw, which is a little reference to one of Zeus's oldest skins.
Yeah.
Now he has got an Almighty Archon instead of just this old Almighty skin, which is it's quite old. But this is the opposite of that. This is cutting edge beauty and tech, and it is extremely clean and smooth. And I was like, I remember when Aggro joined the team, and I was like, yo, check this out. I got to show you this before it comes out. And he was like, yo, that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's up to date with the memes too, pondering the orb there in the card art.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Zeus always ponders the orb. He does in his base card art as well.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
He's been pondering the orb before orbs were even pondered.
Dude, true. OG orb ponderer. So an absolutely amazing skin, and super excited about it. I love that that magical back floating ring thing with the wings on it. I don't know what to call it, but it's absolutely incredible.
It's an angel. It's a biblically accurate angel.
It is.
Obviously.
Obviously. We're always biblically accurate. All right, let's hear the voice line.
I sense dark forces corrupting this realm. To me, my angels, we must eliminate all traces of evil at once.
That sounds like a great voice line to play before assembling like an Archon team, a skin-wide team, and then
Can you build a full Archon team yet?
You gotta be really close.
Yeah,
or you probably
have
can build
to
an
be.
angel team, but you might have we got Ra and Zeus now, so that's too many
There's
mages.
Umoja as well.
Yeah, there's Thanatos, the original.
It's a good troll arena pick, if nothing else. So really
we're
aesthetically
doing that
pleasing.
later.
So this will be again a DLC available. It will come with 400 gems and the Stormbringer avatar. So make sure y'all are looking out for that. Next up, we have the psychedelic chest with the Magic Dragon Tiamat. So I'm excited to see. Oh, look at how good that looks.
Meditating. That's cute.
Yeah.
Does this one launch on 420, or is it? Oh, it's the day
It's
before.
419.
Yeah,
so
419.
very
Close
close.
enough. Close enough.
Yeah. So
Those of you who celebrate at midnight or 4:20 a.m. you know.
exactly. For no particular reason, obviously.
But really something different with Tiamat that takes it it's still cool looking, right? And it still has a lot of
wow.
detail because we did the cuter skin, but I really like how this has the fairy dragon style. You know, it's kind of an archetype you've seen across many different games and RPGs, but it's something we've talked about a long time on the SMITE team, and I feel like they nailed it with this one. The colors, the butterfly wings, the psychedelic colors, she has a cool, sleek look to her. You know, she doesn't really look like cute or silly, but she just looks cool.
Yeah, like pure elegance, and like the changing colors, the like RGB
Yeah.
fins are incredible.
RGB fins?
Yeah.
Oh, she's a gamer.
She's a gamer
Pro
dragon.
gamer. So one thing that I have to shout out, or a couple things to shout out, because I'm trying to talk to our artists who do all this hard work and stuff. And this has a really cool VXG from what I hear that causes even more incredible glowing. So make sure y'all check that out in game. And there's also been some adjustments to the sound to make it sound a little more trippy, but also based in nature. It's something that's hard to describe, but is amazing to hear in game. And I guess let's start out by hearing the voice line.
Let's spread some peace and love and awesomeness.
And awesomeness. I use that word too often, I've been told, so I'm all about it, and we'll be using this skin on Tuesday next week. Hoo-hoo! So super exciting, super excited for this because pro RGB gamer life. Next up, actually some more skins from the Heavenly Light event, which I'm super excited to show off. And we'll start with Shadow Bloom Persephone.
Oh my goodness. This is a sick entry into the Shadow line of skins with all the forest spirits, and she's got all her plants and her skeletal forest friend. Oh, that's gonna look sick.
That is so sick.
A little darker take down that. We've been going more positive characters, more like good aligned characters in the Shadow Spirits, but this one's got a little bit more of a dark twist to it.
Yeah, the like wooden skull flowers definitely does throw that dark twist into it for sure.
A little creepy.
Yeah,
but
those flowers are
still
creepy.
cool.
Ooh, and it looks so, I love the contrast of that like bright blue against the dark undertone. It's such an amazing look. Ooh, and the braid game.
Yeah, right. Her hair is so nice. Wait, can I do my hair like that? Like, someone teach me how to do that, please.
That is super incredible. And of course, as always, a lot of hard work goes into this, and we're excited to see it in game because just all of the different animations that this character has. I can't wait to see the ult. That ult is always it's such a powerful presence when it's flying at you. So let's hear the voice line.
I sense the forest is in pain. I will catch these intruders and expel them at once.
Definitely a little evil, but like
She's protecting her forest,
Yeah,
though.
okay.
Yeah.
She's protecting
It's
her,
your
her,
fault.
her forest and her flowers. So don't go stepping on her flowers, or you'll be having some problems.
Yeah, true. I hear they bite back. That's the rumor I hear anyway. So next up in the Heavenly Light event is another skin that I'm just so excited about. Croc Father Sobek.
Oh my goodness, this one is just, I mean, do I even have to say anything? Look at how he's just got all the swag.
Yeah.
We've got to have a meme skin every now and then, and this one has been more of an internal meme than a community meme, but just getting Sobek just dressed up and making him a crime boss to go along with Densbo and Kuzenbo just felt really fitting for him, and here he is with his very nice fashion. He's got some jewelry going on, his sunglasses, his hat, he's chilling.
Yeah, that's a Croc living his best life, 100%. I don't know how else to say it. And look at it, he's got his friends along with him.
Those are
We
his
need a
henchmen?
steal his look post from
Oh my God,
Smite
yes.
Game. Where can I buy that outfit,
True.
Andy? I need to know.
Yeah, if anybody wants to throw that at us, or we'll get it out as well.
Someone needs to track down Anatoly for where we get that outfit.
Yeah. Look at the drip. That is so good.
Oh my gosh. He's got the drip. He's absolutely got the drip.
That jacket is incredible.
Okay, someone needs to make that jacket though, because come on, the gold on the back with the croc, that's so
Nice.
sick.
I would wear that. If I knew how to make things, I would wear that on the update show. Next update show.
I like those pants with that subtle pattern. Like, that's my style. I think I could pull those off.
Truly a Croc that knows what's going on in life.
Probably not.
Probably not. Oh. All right, let's hear the Croc's voice line.
Everyone wants to be a part of my gang. You think you got what it takes?
Hey, I'm walking here.
I definitely don't got what it takes. But is that all right? I need the rotation to go one more time. It looks like that's a giant switchblade almost. Like it kind of has that handle. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looked very switchblade.
No, it's got that feel to it.
Yeah,
for sure.
a little bit.
It's supposed to have a crime boss inspiration, So
Yeah.
that would make sense.
So also, I wonder how hard it is to get a pair of pants tailored with a Croc tail hole.
It doesn't
anyway.
look like he tailored it at all.
Yeah, true. He just made it work.
They all got to be custom tailored, which he would do anyway because he's that swag.
Exactly. So again, the skin is about the money, and our design team definitely put that influence in. So you'll see that if you play this in game. Next up is Honorable Machina Tier, another Heavenly Light skin. Oh, that's so good. The Jade is immaculate.
Very new type of armor set. Like you mentioned, the Jade, which is funny that it's coming out with the Jade
Right.
patch. I
Had
don't
to
think that
laugh.
was intentional.
Had to laugh there.
We have this ancient mech type of theme that we kind of ideated ourselves here at Hi-Rez Studios that includes a lot of more fantasy and stone and metal that doesn't feel as futuristic. And man, Tyr he's got a really big silhouette with a lot of places to show off cool armor, which
Yeah.
works really well for this skin.
Yeah, that is absolutely sick. I love the contrast, by the way, of those like nice pops of the bright yellowy orange. It's like a perfect complement there to that like jade, bluish, green kind of metal popping out of there. That's so sick.
I feel like it's a very big new twist on the ancient mech line, which they don't usually have as much color in there. It's usually a little bit more stone metal feel, but then we really brought the color alive in this one, and I do not regret it at all.
Yeah, I'm here for this. That's great.
From the lost hand to the orb and the sword, you're totally right. It really draws your eyes to all these focal points, and it's really great to look at. Let's hear the voice line.
Let the ancients lead us to victory.
Ooh.
Nope, not funny.
Yeah, not funny. Not haha rabbit.
Only you
tier.
tier mains will get that one.
Yeah. All right, so the last of the new skins coming out in 9.4 with the Heavenly Light event is going to be Bionic Demon Gilgamesh.
This is a brand new theme, new style, higher tier skin. This is a big one. What he's got, very new. He's got some new anim sets, some other new things added on. But really, what this is kind of a mech demon hybrid theme.
Which is incredible.
The two most popular themes in Smite, put them together.
God,
how did we not think of this sooner?
I mean, he's just got chainsaws on chainsaws on chainsaws. And can I say, for playing this skin in playtests, his auto attack sound is perhaps the most satisfying sound I have heard in game. It's got the like revving of the chainsaw, like so good, man.
Nice. And he looks great. And he feels great to play. Confirmed by Lermy. You know that's a high review right there.
Yeah, that is high remarks. And I can definitely follow up with what you said about those sounds because the sound team they told me they're like, listen, we cannot stress enough how excited we were to really work in those chainsaw sounds to make it as appealing and kind of rough too. They wanted that like that gritty chainsaw like demon mech noises, and they really did that and really worked hard for it.
So he's got an entirely new dropkick ability animation, and an entirely new intro for God Lobby and entering into the game.
That's exactly right.
That is dope. I love when we do that.
You might see those extra appendages come in for the dropkick. Might propel him forward to kick you even harder in the face.
Oh,
so
well, he's got them. He's got to use them.
Exactly right. They're not there for nothing. Let's go ahead and hear the voice line.
Sometimes you just can't choose if you want to impale your foes or blast them away with missiles. I can do both.
That's a man confident in his ability to rip you asunder.
Yeah.
In various ways.
He's Gilgamesh. He knows he can do it all.
True. It's well
A
practiced.
few more nerfs there, buddy, and we'll see if you're still that confident.
Yeah, true. We'll see if you still have that much life in your, I don't know, voice lines. So that's going to be it for 9.4 regular update. Now, because we're in this new schedule, the way it's working with bonus updates is brand new, we're actually going to move ahead and show off the 9.4 bonus skins. So these are going to be live a little bit later, May 3rd, obviously not next week with the original update. But we wanted to go ahead and show them off to y'all, you know? We have a lot of cool stuff, and I mean, I missed my chance to show off Goose Yorm here on the show, and I'm not gonna happen again, because all of these skins that we make are fantastic. So these are more Heavenly Light event skins that will be coming out with 9.4 bonus, again, May 3rd. And the first of which is going to be Haunted Nightmare Chernobog.
Oh, he's sick.
Oh.
This is like my favorite theme, by the way. Can we just put that out there? We need to make more of this because right here, I'm playing Chernobog for this.
Death Knights. Yeah, very fitting to Chernobog. And I love that we get to show everything here at once. You know, you'll be able to see on the patch notes what's going to come out later, what's going to come out right away. But, ooh, look at those wing effects.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So sick. Little souls.
Yeah,
flying
so
through there.
alive, yeah. As if Chernobog wasn't like scary enough. That's just a theme that he does so well with, is kind of any aspect of horror, regardless of how it's approached. He really fits it so well.
I like the armor a lot. I like how they were able to keep him feeling light and lean and agile, even though he's like fully armored like a knight, he still feels like, you know, he can move.
Yeah.
He can dip, duck, dive, dodge like Chernobog loves to do. He's going to be out there looking good on the battlefield.
Yeah, he's got the 3 S's that make a cool skin, at least in my mind. He's got the skulls, the spikes, and the souls.
Wow. You heard that. The 3 S's of good god design.
I like it.
You learned it here first. So let's hear the voice line.
This battlefield is missing something. Perhaps all it needs is a little carnage to feel complete.
Yep.
Missing a little carnage, but it looks like he has it in droves. So super excited for that. The second skin coming in the 9.4 bonus Heavenly Light event release will be the Demon Puncher Mercury skin.
Okay, second favorite theme. Very, very close.
Very
close. I love that we're making this like canon of like this school of demon hunters between like the Circuit and the Bellona. Like that
Morrigan.
is just, oh yeah, and Morrigan too is the teacher. That's so fun.
And now it's finally time to introduce the male god into that lineup.
He's the bad boy.
So heavy anime inspiration here, but with some demon-acquired power-ups attached to his arms, and you can see that even built into his anatomy a little bit, his face. So maybe he's using a bit of the power of the demons against them, right? The defense of the dark arts, you've got to learn.
Oh, yeah.
You've got to learn your opponent. in order to take them down.
Yeah, he's punching the demons, so
Yeah.
clearly he knows what's
Oh, we
up.
did a Mulan skin that I think was kind of in this
Oh,
theme too, but she was
true.
more like a true villain as opposed to one of the
Yeah, she
the
was
classmates.
students,
corrupted
yeah.
by
Yeah,
him,
which was
yeah.
cool.
Instead of the puncher of the demons. So
Go out there with Mercury, play it against the Mulan skin for full thematic effect.
yeah, and maximum demon punching. And another cool thing about this, and I love this note, somebody specifically came up and said, they're like, listen, this is just an example of how our designers are always looking for the chance to sneak a guitar or guitar sounds into Smite. And that's something that you're going to see with some of the audio with this particular skin, which is I'm super excited for because I love when they do that.
Mercury is just such a fun god that you can kind of do some over the top stuff
Yeah.
like that, and it just feels perfect for him because he's already so over the top. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a great entire presentation when it all comes together.
Super excited for it. Let's hear the voice line.
Join the hunt? Well, you better not slow me down.
Nothing personal, kid.
Yeah, he's the bad boy. That's fine.
I've already beaten you.
Yeah.
Very edgy. All right, so the final skin coming in the 9.4 bonus update is going to be part of the old one's chest, and this is Abyssal Slayer Onhur.
Oh my gosh.
So
okay. He's
Yeah.
so scary.
Mercury, come punch, please.
Took the Cthulhu factor and turned it up to 11 here, and Onhur is just a great god for making crazy, creepy monsters. Like we
Yeah.
did the Oni demon, the last one, which was really different, really unique.
Yeah.
So just finding that, we can do some really cool stuff with this god. So he's a unique silhouette and body type. So you got the big ol' eye, the tentacles, the jowls, the spikes, the jaws, and yeah, he's pretty spooky out there.
Yeah, the whole 9 yards. Not enough eyes, I don't think, you know?
Were those eyes on his knees?
Yeah.
He has like thigh eyes.
We made the Zeus skin where his whole head was just an eye.
Sure,
I mean, this is pretty close to that, right? That is one big ol' eye.
I feel like since we did Cthulhu, our whole dark eldritch themes have just keep going up in quality because the whole team
Yeah.
is just like, oh yeah, we know the assignment now. We're just gonna go far with it, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them an A+ for that one.
Yeah, I'm excited for the day that we get to the point where the skin is just an eyeball. That's it, just one eyeball. So yeah, let's hear the voice line.
This world has so many potent minds. I will enjoy bending each and every one of them until they break.
Got a lot of villains in this batch.
Yeah, I was about to say, Demon Puncher Mercury has his work cut out for
Yeah,
him.
he's gonna be busy.
Yeah, true. Lot o' punching to do. So yeah, that is going to be the last skin for the 9.4 bonus update. Again, that'll be coming out. That's not next week's patch. That's not next Tuesday. That'll be in May, I believe, May 3rd. So keep an eye out for that. You can look at all those skins on the 9.4 update notes. There's no more bonus blogs. It'll be on update notes, so you can check out all of that there. And just super cool stuff. A lot of really cool stuff. So now, of course, is the time for us to get to the big thing, the exciting new thing, our new god, Huang. Check out this.
For eons, I have governed heaven and earth. Man or god, each is heard. Their anger, their pain, and in their time of need, I rise. So when the day comes that they ascend to the heavens, the rewards that await are not of silver or gold, but jade.
How exciting! Oh,
So crazy.
tingles every time. So Huang, a brand new addition to Smite, joining the battleground again. Only 1 week. Next Tuesday. I mean, less than a week. That's 6 days. That's
That is
incredible.
so soon.
So super excited to talk about this. Super excited to get into it. I mean, let's just start off by talking about Huang. What was kind of the inspiration behind this choice?
Well, I'll start with a little bit, and then I'll let Lermy explain some more. This is a god that's just been very highly requested from the Smite community for a long time. He's often considered the leader of the entire Chinese pantheon. He kind of crosses into multiple different mythologies between there's kind of Chinese folklore. There's also more Taoism, which we lean into a lot with this kit, which is really cool. It's a kind of entirely new mythology for us to explore. The Jade Emperor is often seen as the the supreme sovereign, the leader of all of those gods. So definitely something we wanted to bring about to the game. We haven't had a mage since Morgan Le Fay last year. We've had every other class since then, actually.
June or July.
So
Yeah.
it was due for that time for Huang, and he's got a really interesting kit and a lot of interesting mythology. So Lermy can go ahead and give you a little bit more on his lore background as well as the goals for the general gameplay of the kit before we go and show off the kit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so a quick rundown. Huang was born into a noble family. He was a very benevolent guy. He would go around and make sure that everyone was doing okay, making sure that everyone was taken care of in his community. And so eventually he basically wanted to see how he could do more. And so one of the ways to do that was he needed to get attuned with Tao. And so Tao is basically kind of thought of as like the energy of the universe, how the balance of nature and man kind of interact with each other. And so he spent millions of years, millennia, meditating and getting attuned to the Tao to be able to, get some more power, basically. So as soon as he felt like he was ready, he basically left his meditation and then gained what is called golden immortality. So this basically is what created him as his godly status. And then after that, he basically was up in heaven doing a lot of good things for people. But eventually, this big bad demon lord came around, but the gods were not strong enough to defeat him. So Huang once again needed to go back into meditation, complete 3,200 trials. That is 3,200 trials. And each of these trials, again, took millennia. So this guy took
billions.
A very, very long time to gain all of this power. But once he was finally complete, he had ascended to this status as the Jade Emperor. He came back, vanquished the demons, and basically saved the Chinese pantheon. So they all kind of collectively thought that he should become the emperor, the great sovereign. So again, that's kind of just how he attained that status. And then from then on out, he became in charge of heaven and had a lot of really interesting interactions with a lot of the SMITE cast that's already in the game. You'll see a lot about Wukong, Erlang Shen, Naja, Ao Kuang, all referenced in his voice lines in some way. So there's a lot of really fun, small little details that you'll see here and there with a little bit of his character.
I feel like the theme of this patch show is how much incredible information there is, and that's just so cool. I knew a little bit about Huang going into this, but the story, that's an incredible amount of time to spend meditating. I can barely wait for a burrito in the microwave. So this is amazing. Like, I love the look, the presentation, the lore is there. Do y'all want to hop in game and look at the kit?
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the big point of
That's what everyone's here to
him.
see.
Yeah, that's what
we're here to see. Well, let's do it.
Yeah, but if we're looking at him, how he's looking here, we
First,
definitely
the
were
presentation, though.
inspired a lot by very traditional Chinese emperors and how they presented themselves. So we did, have a little bit of a back and forth between should we go a little bit more fantasy, a little bit more realistic. We eventually decided, okay, a little bit more fantasy feels right for SMITE. So again, we still have a lot of references to really regal things and other like emperor status items. For instance, one of the biggest items that you'll see is his very special crown, which is called Mian.
Okay.
It has 12 beads on it, and so that is a very important number to emperors. It is basically representative of the 12 symbols of the emperor, so that can range from like dragons and phoenixes to other smaller natural things. And of course, you've got to check out this humongous, beautiful jade back piece, which
that is so amazing.
It perfectly symbolizes the balance between yin and yang, between the phoenix on the bottom there, and on the top we've got the dragon. And that just really shows how the emperor is in complete control of Tao and making sure that he is just ready to go at a moment's notice.
I want that back piece like as a center on the set, a centerpiece on the. That's so beautiful.
That would be sick. That would be really sick.
That's incredible.
So he's got the kind of the floating walk style, which we've used in a few gods like Hera and Thoth. It felt very fitting to him. We didn't really want him running. It's not very emperor-like. The beads also on his crown are symbolic, and keeping them still is to show the calm and grace of an emperor, whereas if he were to be hastily moving or clumsily moving, they would be shaking all over the place. But they stay nice and gentle and smooth, and he moves that way as well. Very magical and very uplifting with his abilities, inspiring to his teammates, and kind of a mage kit that rewards you for patience a little bit to kind of really dial into the meditation themes of his lore. Any more general things to add before we go ahead and just do the full show?
Yeah, I guess just be ready for some references to a lot of these small things within his lore, like again the phoenix and the dragons. You'll be seeing some of them soon.
Oh yeah.
All right, well then let's see the kit.
Let's do it. Run the kit. That is so awesome.
Oh, yeah.
God.
It's all coming together.
Fighting alongside with the dragon.
So
Yeah.
many things happen. Yeah, right. The dragon's presence is incredible. All right, so many things happen there. Let's start to break it down. Just starting with the basic attack. Let's start right at the beginning.
Yeah, so the basic attacks are pretty normal. He's actually manifesting his Dao into these like fiery, magical projectiles that he's shooting out. So there's not a whole lot going on with those, but it's especially special until we start getting into the passive, and that's where things get interesting.
Well, then let's get into the passive. Let's not keep him waiting.
All right, so as you can see there, right above his character portrait, he does have this passive meter, and so you can see that it's lighting up a little bit. We'll get into the specifics of what it does, but you can see that Jade segment popped off on the side there. That's how you know your passive is ready to go. So Huang's passive is called Master of the Dao, and so how that works is you've got 12 segments in this passive meter.
Yeah.
Once you hit 6 segments, which you can gain and lose Dao by doing various things, your abilities and basic attacks become attuned. He becomes attuned to the Dao. So there's a lot of different effects that you'll see throughout the kit that change whether or not you are attuned. And the first one of those effects has to do with his basic attacks. So if you are ever over 6 Dao, your basic attacks will chain once to the nearest enemy. And they do reduced damage to that second enemy, but it's pretty good for lane clear, pretty good for jungle clear. It's just a nice little spicy thing to add to his basic attacks, and this happens whenever you're over 6 Dao, and it does not cost any Dao to use these auto attacks.
It's awesome that it works on both like enemy players, but also on the jungle camps, on the lane minions. That's awesome.
Yeah, so to go into a little bit more how you actually gain this Dao, there are 2 ways to gain it through your passive, and then a couple of other ways throughout his kit. But the first way is you just get one every 15 seconds. So every 15 seconds, you will see that he will get 1 more Dao. The second way is if you take a look at the passive meter, there's a nice big Jade emblem in the middle. You can see it's glowing right now.
Yeah.
But if you hit someone or you are hit, it goes off. You only get 1 Dao, though, if you hit someone from out of combat. So if you're not fighting anyone for 3 seconds, you haven't hit or been hit within 3 seconds, you will get 1 more Dao.
Okay, cool. So it's kind of a resource management, kind of something you have to watch out for and pay attention to. And I'm sure that'll affect other abilities. So let's get right into them with ability 1, Flames of the Phoenix.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting take on a poke tool. This is a brand new shape. Never seen this shape before.
Ooh.
It's got an X and a circle. So you can see here with this targeter, the first thing that's going to happen is where all those arrows are on that X, you're going to have cinders spawn there. And those are going to be pretty nice pillars of flame. They're going to all collide together in the center. And when that happens, there's a big explosion and then a field of fire right in that center circle area.
And the symbol of the Phoenix.
And the Phoenix, I was about to say, pops up right in the center.
Yeah, so that actually lets you know when the ability is attuned. So if you were to ever get above 6 Dao, when you fire it, an enemy will know that it has been attuned when you see that Phoenix. So normally, no Phoenix attuned, there is a Phoenix in there.
Got it.
To kind of talk a little bit more about how the damage is broken down on this one, if you get hit by the projectile of the cinders coming to the center, that's a little bit of damage. There's an explosion coming from when all of them collide, and then there's a burn coming from that field of flames.
And if you're attuned, you'll also have your magical protections reduced.
Yes, so if you step into that explosion, the explosion damage is what is actually doing the protection reduction. If you are just in the burn and you don't get hit by that initial explosion, your protections are just the same.
Got it, yeah, and it consumes your Dao to hit them with. That's awesome.
Yeah, so every ability that does take Dao takes 6 Dao. So you'll always know that you can do at least 2 abilities if you're at full. There are, again, still more ways to get back Dao. So if you happen to be weaving in basic attacks, staying in and out of combat, and doing those kind of actions, you can get to, 3 abilities enhanced during a fight. It just really depends on the player that's going to be doing it and how well they've mastered attuning to the Dao.
I love when the theme of the actual god plays in the kit so much, and that'll be really cool to see both in those really heated team fights where you're just going to have to choose what 2 abilities do I want to use my Dao on, but also, and the poke game, because you can really be concise about when you throw your auto attacks, when you use that Dao to, play into maybe poking your opponent out of lane. That's really cool.
If you pace yourself, take your time, reset, build that Dao back up before the next fight, you're going to be a lot more effective than if you just come in there.
Yeah. So really, I mean, again, have to exercise that patience, that emperor-like patience.
Well, ability 2 is going to make you also want to be patient if you're going to want to get its full effects.
Well, let's get into ability 2, Dao Cultivation.
So in this one, this is really the biggest point where you can gain the most Dao at once. So Dao Cultivation is basically a charging ability, and the longer that you stay in it, the more Dao that you get up to a cap. So you can see there the targeter is grayed out, and once it gets colored in, that's when you've gotten your first Dao. But there's a lot of nice visual and audio sound effects that are going to be coming in to let you know when you've gained your cap of 6 Dao per ability cast. You can see actually in his passive meter that the slots start filling up red.
Yeah.
So that starts showing you how much Dao you will gain when you fire it. You cannot get any Dao unless you fire it. So for instance, if you were to get canceled out of this, you wouldn't lose the cooldown, you wouldn't lose the mana, you would just need to charge up again to get the full amount of Dao. But you can fire it early. You don't have to sit there and wait for the Dao to gain all the way up to 6. You can fire it early. There is a slight bit of reduced damage if you fire it too early though, so you want to make sure you're holding on to it for just the right amount of time before setting it off.
Yeah.
If you fire it before 1 second, you're going to get the reduction. If you wait the full 3 seconds, that's when you get all the Dao. Or you can just keep it charged and just kind of hold it for the right time.
Exactly.
And then this ability is going to do damage in the center narrow projectile area. Then the projectile itself, its wake of energy explodes out, causing a second effective damage in a wider area and rooting the gods in the area. So this is also what his primary CC is.
Yes, he's got a slow on the center rectangle, and on the outside is a root. So really the slow is just there to help you guarantee the root. If you hit that really thin skill shot, you will almost certainly guarantee the root unless they're on the very edge of the outer rectangle.
Yeah. And again, I love Jade as a look, it's just so pleasing to me personally, and the amount of it that's worked into these abilities. I mean, the green in that like center projectile before it erupts is just so pleasing to look at. That is such an aesthetic ability. Like all utility and amazing usage aside, I just looking at it, somebody will hit me and they'll go like, "Ow, that hurt," but it was also really nice. I don't know. So.
The next ability, which we kind of foreshadow as a unique movement ability, is very different. It has a very different feel, very different look. It handles very differently than pretty much anything we've done in SMITE before.
Yeah, and it's definitely one that stands out from the others. That's ability 3, Celestial Flight. So let's see some Celestial Flight.
Yes, so in this ability, Huang's actually going to be calling down, I guess calling up the Pearl Dragon from beneath him.
Yeah.
And this use of the Pearl Dragon is actually really interesting as it ties into his lore, because there's a very popular story about the 4 dragons of the rivers in Chinese mythos and how they came to be. So this is like that origin story kind of mixed in here. So the Pearl Dragon was really the first dragon to call upon the Emperor when the people were thirsty, in need of water. There was a big drought. And so the Pearl Dragon went to the Jade Emperor and said, "Hey, you know, we need water for the people." And the Jade Emperor said, "Okay, well, I can get to that soon. I have a lot of other imperial duties that I have to get to." But eventually the dragons just went and did it themselves, and Huang was not too pleased with them going over his imperial authority. So to punish them, he basically changed the 4 dragons into the 4 major Chinese rivers.
Huh. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Well,
so the one that we
all
have
of the
featured in the game is the Pearl Dragon of the Pearl River.
Yeah.
And yeah, look at that. I mean, the Pearl Dragon coming out of the ground, lifting him straight on up and coming on down as well. So what you're seeing here is the attuned effect of this ability, where the Pearl Dragon actually comes back down with you and kind of swoops around there on the ground and knocks people away.
What this is actually a slow-moving self-banish and untargetability. So it's kind of like a juke more than a leap. You get a relatively long window of untargetability and CC immunity, but you don't really gain that much extra distance or speed.
Yeah.
You cannot use this to go over walls either, but you can use it to escape player-made walls.
Yes.
And then upon landing, he's going to deal bonus damage, just damage in that circle, and with the attuned effect, you're going to get damage and a knockback.
You can see that knock up right there.
Yeah.
And another small piece of control that's actually super cool about this ability is if you're up in the air, you're actually able to refire it by pressing the button again or by left clicking to go down faster. So you have complete control of how much time you spend in the air, whether that's the max amount, whether that's the minimum amount, or somewhere in between. Whenever you need to get back down, you're going to be able to.
Yeah, that's awesome for both control and, you know, if you're using this offensively or defensively, right? 'Cause if you're trying to, you know, use some Dow, get that knock up, then you can really just rain down on your enemies. But if you're like, all right, I got to get out of here, Odin just put up a wall, you can just kind of glide right over and enjoy the max duration of that immunity. That's really, really cool to see. And just, again, very aesthetically pleasing. That dragon animation is so clean and such a powerful piece of imagery that, I don't know, it's just, like you said, a very unique ability.
Yeah, definitely a little bit less of a movement ability and more of an outplay safety ability like you'd see out of like Chang'e too or Robin too. It's definitely going to be used in that way.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see how it's used because, again, just such a powerful ability even just to look at. So that moves us, of course, to the ult, which I'm super excited about us getting a closer look at. This ult is called Dueling Dragons.
And that they do. When you use this ultimate ability, Huang summons the Pearl Dragon once more, but he also creates a dragon out of his own Dao. So you'll see here how there's two different dragons showing up. The one that's next to him is made out of this beautiful Jade energy. It's shining, it's sparkling, it's gorgeous. The art team absolutely knocked it out of the park with this thing. I am so impressed with how that visually looks. But yeah, you got your two dragon buddies, and you basically have a hinged line targeter. So how this works is the faraway dragon from you, the Pearl Dragon, doesn't actually move, but what you can do is you can aim the line in different directions, and yeah, just, I mean, look at that.
That's amazing.
That's so sick. He's scary, but he's also cool.
The like power stance.
Yeah, right. The sparkling effect is incredible too. Just that shimmering.
The profile of the dragons too, like that is just awesome. And you can see here they're gonna crash together, and then a big explosion at the end.
Oh, that's cool. They kind of like fade as they finish their fight. That's awesome. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so if you're hit with this ability on either line, you will get pushed to the center, wherever that center may be. So you'll see there that circle is where they'll end up. And that circle's not always there. So if you are spread apart or you pull the lines too far apart, they do have a max distance that each of them go, but you start pretty well within it. So if you want that extra explosion damage, you can have it, but you're not stuck to that like straight line that you had. You can always turn around, move around, do whatever you need to do, and make one really long line of push if you absolutely wanted to.
That's really awesome.
So you can push people toward him and push away from him with this. And you know, we've always wanted to experiment with an ability that spawns something further away that comes back to you.
Yeah.
We've never really done that before. So here you can get this ultimate. You get a lot of either long range poke or potentially even some control. You could, you know, kind of pluck someone out of the opposing lineup if you hit it well. You can also use it to peel for yourself. So if someone's right up on your face and you need to get some space, you can use them to push them away. They're going to take that extra explode damage as well. And it's like, can also kind of function as just a ranged skill shot where you have some very interesting angles on it that you don't normally get on a mage.
Yeah, as we're showing up here, one of the ways that a lot of playtesters have been using it is to push their opponent out of their tower. So if you're hiding into the tower against Huang, you better be ready for this one.
Right, awesome. You aren't safe there. You do have a significant amount of time where the dragon will spawn before it can fire, so if you go ahead and move perpendicularly to him to try to evade it, you can certainly do that. There's a lot of reactivity time. But we give Jade Emperor a little bit of time here where he can choose where he's aiming it, but it will force him to refire. You cannot cancel this.
Yeah.
Once you enter the state, you're gonna shoot it. So it's just up to you to make that count in the time you have before the ability completes the ability.
Yeah, so the one last thing to talk about with this ability is what happens when it's attuned. So when Huang is attuned and uses Dueling Dragons, he gets to have a wider projectile. So the path of the dragons take is wider, and pretty significantly so. So if you would like to push more people, hit more people with this, then by all means make sure you're attuned before you use it and get to fighting.
So the attunement from the passive can affect the basic attacks, the 1, the 3, and the 4, and the 2 is also attuned.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you consume it upon firing this as well. Everything gets consumed and has to be regained from its other generations.
Yeah, it's all part of the cycle, and like you said, 3 ways to gain it, 3 ways to use it.
That's incredible too. Just to see that utility throughout the entire kit, it gives you so much to work with, so many different ways you can handle using Dao for attuning your abilities. I'm excited to see this in team fights because, pluck a backliner with this, or shoot, you could even just throw it out there and push a tank off to the side. You have a clear shot at their damage. It's just so many different ways you can use this. it's going to be incredible to see this. And I love seeing the community take somebody with as many options available to them as this new god here, as Huang, and make up new plays. And you know, I think we're going to see a lot of that with this. Oh, that's incredible.
I'm just so excited to see what people can do with this god. This has been a really awesome experience for me, having the ability to design such an awesome god for it to be my first one. Like, I can't even express like how insane this turned out. Like, the art team nailed it, the programming team nailed it, the tech art team. I mean, I could name countless people that helped with this process to make Huang come out as smoothly and as awesome as he did, to be frank. I mean, this guy is just sick. I will be playing him a lot when he comes out.
It's a really magical moment to see your first god design come to life. I mean, so magical that some people even wear a sweatshirt that has that god on it forever. So, wait, are we have voice packs or recolor skins or something to show?
Yeah, we have some recolor skins we can look at. But yeah, I mean, let's Lermy, congratulations. That is super exciting. I know there are so many people that work on these, but I mean, you're here with us today, and I just have to shout out your first one. So.
Yeah, it's so incredible, honestly. I remember playing this game and coming home from school every day, being really excited to watch Hinduman and Adonis on the SPL cast, and like, I'm here. Making the thing.
Doing the work.
And of course, I have to ask, do you think you're gonna get him to level 10 probably, or?
Oh, that's not it. It's not a question. Are you
She's
asking
taking
me?
the day off for it, obviously.
Are you asking me if I'm getting the new God Diamond?
She'll make it happen.
Question. Oh yeah, I know. It'll be like what? I'll be 3 a.m. I'll see a Twitter post that was like day 1. So. You are a monster with that. It's always incredible to me. Yeah, so we also have the mastery skins available. So and you know, all the other skins that we'll be releasing with it. So let's hop into that. We'll start off with Rising Dao Huang, which is going to be the standard recolor release with it.
All right, this card art has a really cool story behind it. So
lay it on us.
Once upon a time, Huang had a daughter, and so this daughter wanted to go visit Earth, and so one day she did. She came down from the heavens and went to take a bath in a river. But a cowherd came along, and this cowherd fell instantly in love with her. So he took her magical robes that allowed her to go back to heaven, so she could no longer go back to heaven. But one day, Huang found out about this, and he was pretty mad about it.
Yeah.
But, you know, his daughter was happy. His daughter was in love. They eventually got married, so he permitted it for the time. But one day, Huang's daughter got curious, found the robe, went back to heaven, and as soon as she came back to heaven, Huang created the Milky Way galaxy as a river in the sky. And that is the river that you're seeing here that's keeping her away from her cowherd husband.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It is beautiful art.
Yeah, that is incredible. He does look pretty mad, too.
And it looks like he's going to have a teal green type of, as opposed to his base clothing is very white and beige, but with jade accents. But this is actually, you know, the cloth is jade as well in this recolor. And this will be the one that'll be purchasable through Favor.
Yeah. So it'll come out. Oh, and that looks good.
He's kind of looking like Ao Kwang there.
Oh,
like
yes, it does remind me like Ao
there.
Kwang. I like that. It's like a little nod to him. The darker twist. So he's got the reds and the blue-greens on the clothing as you see the way the light hits it adds so much. You can see the details and all the patterning. Man, it really stands out.
It really does. One important thing to note, though, that I do want to pull here is that the dragons in this skin and the upcoming Ascended skin that we're going to look at, they're also recolored.
Ooh,
so nice little big bonus there for anyone who does get this skin and the Ascended skin. You're going to have some nice looking dragons as well.
Yeah, and we have a Huang voice line that we can hear with this. So let's go ahead and hear that.
Evil has taken hold of this land. It shall be rooted out and expelled by my hand.
The voice actor for this, Corey Yee, did such an amazing job. He's also in a bunch of other skins that we have in SMITE, but this is his first time as a god, which is so incredible. One of the most notable skins that he's done is Iroh Bacchus. So.
Oh wow!
Iroh, now the Jade Emperor as well.
That's really a skilled voice actor right
there.
Big
hitters, yeah, and it sounds incredible too. Like you definitely you hear the conviction and that calmness, that steadiness in the voice. So. It's super impressive voice acting job and a super great skin. Yeah, let's check out. I mean, like you said, let's check out the Ascended Huang.
I'm a big fan of this one. I love purple.
I agree.
So it looks really great on him. And we have the meditation pose, which I think is very fitting. We definitely wanted to get that into one of the card arts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is from when he went to go do his trials in the cave, the 3,200 trials that each took millions of years. Yeah, that's him doing that right now.
That is so awesome. The lore, like, that's another thing that I love. Every time we get to do one of these, you just learn the lore.
so nice.
This one's my favorite.
Yeah, this
The
this
colors
might be
are
the
so
winner.
nice.
Yeah.
The purples and the pinky tones there, and the blue with the black too. I mean,
And
that's all winners.
I love all those
Striking.
highlights. Like the clouds, how they stand out. They kind of like shine a little more. Absolutely glorious. Striking, I think, is the best way to say it. Whew. All right, so obviously we also have the mastery skins for Huang. So let's. That's so pretty.
And once again, this has another lore reference of him summoning the dragon from the river. So
Yeah.
again, the
yes,
dragon's
you see
coming
the
right on out of the
connection
river.
here.
And being shown off on the card art.
Yeah.
The story is hidden for you in so many different places if you know what to look for.
Literally everything we've seen has been like lore tidbit. So.
We really, he has a lot of text just
Yeah.
written about him. The lore is incredible. There's so much. Just the journey to the west alone is an extremely long epic tale where Jade Emperor is mentioned hundreds, thousands of times in it.
Yeah.
So, as well as tons of other folklore stories and even ones that blur into actual history for the Jade Emperor. So we really tried to draw on as many of those as we could.
And it shows. I think that it shows all over the kit and the design.
The gold and blue. Oh, the black.
Oh my
the
goodness.
black. That's always so good to look at.
And his Jade remaining Jade, because that just fits a
It's
lot better
so
than turning it
stunning
gold
with,
or
with
something.
the contrast. So nice. I mean, you really can't replace the Jade in
No.
Jade Emperor. So it's got to be there, but it
Yeah.
looks so nice.
I was about to say,
The,
yeah.
the Jade, the smaller Jade elements on his armor was also left away from the mastery recoloring, which I think was a wise choice.
And that's going to be me on
bold,
Tuesday.
yeah, there you are. That's,
True. Okay, I think it'll be like probably Wednesday at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, probably. I don't think I'll be able to get it that fast. But,
You'll have it down one day. I think like 2 or 3 more
people will get
gods.
this one too.
whew,
Yeah.
what a patch show, huh?
What a
Man, that
patch
was a
show.
big
Oh
one.
my gosh. So yeah, I'm thirsty. That was a lot of talking. I'm going to sound like a frog tomorrow. And that was all worth it, and I love doing every second of it. Thank y'all for coming out. What an incredible amount of content that we just went over, I mean, between the nerfing, between, the cool new content coming, between our amazing streamers, different accessories that are coming into the game, and all those skins. I just check out the patch notes. You're going to see all kinds of content in there. I mean,
And
all
don't
that stuff
forget the
we
new
went over.
schedule. PTS this Friday, live next Tuesday.
Yes.
It's
So
that
it'll
soon.
It's gonna be so
yeah,
Be able
well-
to play all this stuff very soon.
Yeah, and keep an eye on Twitter. We have a new schedule that we're working with now, and we've talked about it a little bit. There's a blog out about it right now, but we'll be releasing more info to make sure that everybody knows exactly what this schedule looks like, and we're super excited to share it with y'all. So thank y'all all for coming out. Look out for PTS. That'll be we'll be sending out info about that really soon, and we look forward to seeing y'all literally 6 days from now. Start the countdown. Get ready for all of the content you just saw today. So I've been Titan Dandy. Thank you, AJ and Lermy. It's been amazing. And y'all have a beautiful evening. See ya.
Thank you guys.